Excited in Oxford, Mississippi for baseball? You better believe it. A crowd of more than 10,000 coming in tonight for Ole Miss and Clemson, and it's coming up next. NCAA Regional Baseball is presented by Capital One. It is game 2 of day 2 of the Oxford Regional. We got started yesterday with Clemson 8-4 over Illinois. Ole Miss won the nightcap 16-2 over Jacksonville State. Elimination game earlier today. The Gamecocks knocked out the Fighting Illini. They await the loser of tonight's game, but on deck, it's Ole Miss and Clemson from Swayze Field in Oxford. Good Saturday night. Welcome to more postseason baseball. I'm Richard Cross. Lance Cormier will join me shortly. A big atmosphere tonight. This is the type atmosphere that usually is reserved for Saturday nights in the fall, but that is not the case. Lance Cormier liked it so much, he said, hey, I want to go to the outfield. What's up, Lance?
Hey, we're out here in left field, out here with the craziness going on. Man, it is so loud I can't even go nuts, man. They're ready for some baseball. Clemson's coming in. The home runs are coming. If last night was an indication, we're going to see a lot of them. Started off with Clemson with Michael Green going for a solo shot, opposite field. Followed up by Grayson Bird. He goes down to the knee, gets one, though. Shows the kind of power that he has. And Ole Miss said, not so fast. We can do it in the nightcap. Tyler Keenan gets the party going. And you see the showers rolling. Anthony Servideo follows that up with another shot. Last but not least, Thomas Dillard. He gets one of his own. And when the home runs come, this is where the party happens out here, over there, and soon to be. They're looking for more home runs. A lot of lightning coming. They're having fun out here. Looks to be a great night. Back to you, Richard.
Lance, we want no lightning. Let's stay away from the lightning. We'll enjoy the home runs. These are two teams that can hit them in bunches. Last night, Ole Miss 16 runs on 15 hits. You saw the 3 home runs and a masterpiece from Will Etheridge. You saw 20 consecutive batters retired in the game by Etheridge. Clemson got the day started. 8 runs, 12 hits. Grayson Bird, a big day, 3 for 5 with 3 driven in, including his 16th long ball of the year. Davis Sharp was fantastic in relief. It is Ole Miss and Clemson. A beautiful Saturday night. First pitch coming up when we come back. Packed house, and they're still coming in for Ole Miss and Clemson. Ole Miss, the visiting team, after being the home team last night, is the number 1 seed. Clemson is the 3 seed. It was the visitor yesterday. So the Tigers on the field in their purple jerseys. Ole Miss sticking with the superstition and the powder blues. Rebels in their last 14 have gone 6-8. Pull that down a little bit in the last week and a half. They have been on fire. They've gone 5-2 in their last 7 games. Ole Miss has scored 3 or more runs 54 different times this year, and top 25 in the country in strikeout to walk ratio. Thomas Dillard hit his 11th home run of the season last night. He bats leadoff. Ryan Olenek moves up in the order. Tyler Keenan moves down to the 6th slot in the order. And Knox LaPosser gets the start tonight as the designated hitter. Because he's a right-handed hitter, Mike Bianco likes those righty-lefty matchups. Mike Bianco has coached Ole Miss to 16 regionals in 19 seasons. And he is trying to get his team into that all-important 2-0 slot in regional play. On the mound tonight for Clemson, a good one. Matt Clark, left-handed sophomore from Hilton Head, South Carolina. He's not going to blow you away with anything. He'll work in the mid-80s with his fastball. It almost has a cutter look to it for most of the night.
Yeah, we have a great pitching matchup, especially these guys are coming off 2 of their best outings. Both of them in the tournaments went 8 innings. Matt Clark gave up 1 run. Doug Nikhazy gave up 0. So, I mean, you're looking at a guy that he's their ace. He's ready to go. This is what you want to see in the 1-0 ball game in a regional.
Not many empty seats tonight. They are packed in. Last night, just shy of 10,000, the official attendance. And Ole Miss and Clemson ending in a 1-0 game in the Oxford Regional. Day 2, game 2. Loser of this game meets Jacksonville State the winner in the driver's seat. Thomas Dillard goes after the first pitch, pops it up right side. Long run for Bird, long run for Green, and it's Green, the right fielder, that makes the catch. Pretty good outfield. Sam Hall, Bryce Teodosio, he's probably the best outfield defensive player, and then Michael Green at right, who just made the catch. Hawkins, the outstanding Logan Davidson at shortstop, Jordan Green at second, Grayson Bird at first. Kyle Wilkie had a big night offensively last night, and Matt Clark, who has thrown one pitch and has gotten one out.
That's exactly what you like to see, man. A one pitch, easy fly ball. That's how you start off a game.
Ryan Olenek steps in, shows bunt, and takes strike one. A year ago, Matt Clark was more of a situational pitcher, would come in as a left-handed specialist, got some spot starts along the way. Different story this year, though, for Clark, as he is making his 11th start of the season. 59 strikeouts, 20 walks. Ryan Olenek behind in the count 0-2 and fouls it away. Matt Clark, third-team All-ACC this year. In his career, he's got a record of 13-2 with a 2.57 career ERA and 91 innings pitched. This was against Louisville, just one hit allowed in the ACC tournament.
Perfect through 8, right? I think that's what it was. It's perfect through 7, went out there in the 8th, gave up a homer. That's what you want to see, though, going out there stepping it up against a top-notch program in Louisville. You like the shake-up of the lineup right here? Moving Olenek from 5 to 2?
Feels like trying to get some more right-handed bats at the top of the lineup. That one runs inside. Check swing. Olenek holds up, and he has worked the count full. And for the first time tonight, Ole Miss crowd comes to life. Chopper to first. Grayson Bird fields it, handles it himself for the second out of the first inning. Kind of an excuse me check swing there from Ryan Olenek. Might have gone after ball four.
I think he did. Sometimes the anxiety, just the environment, the nerves are there. You tend to spread the zone just a little bit, and that's when the best players can kind of relax, let that game come to them.
First pitch strike to Greg Kessinger.
Gotta love the crowd umpires, especially the home crowd. They don't like that call.
Cut fastball, everything will be working into the right-handed hitters. That time he nips the outside corner. Everything he throws is moving.
The term crafty comes. He doesn't look that crafty, though. He doesn't have the big glove, the crooked hat. Most lefties will have a little side hat, but just movement in and out. He's going to change speeds on guys, try to nibble. And it's one of those things. If home plate umpire Mike Morris, starts to give him an inch or two, it can be a long night for the Rebel hitters.
Mike Morris behind the plate. Ramon Armendariz at first base. Adam Dowdy at second. Bill Fisher, the third base umpire. Ground ball, right side. Green had to cover a lot of ground. He's able to gather himself, make a good throw, and Ole Miss goes 1-2-3 in the top of the first. Clemson coming to the plate in a scoreless game. Ole Miss goes 1-2-3 in the top of the first. That will bring Clemson to the plate for their first at bat of the night. Clemson Tigers 15-15 in the ACC this year against the top 10, 6-3. So they had a good mark against the best teams that they played. Nearly 1.5 home runs per game. That's 11th best in the entire country. 56 games in a row in which the two-hole hitter Logan Davidson has reached base safely. He's got 15 home runs. The guy behind him, Grayson Bird, has 16 home runs, including one last night. And the first guy you're going to see, Michael Green, he went the opposite way with a home run in yesterday's game.
Yeah, he went the opposite way. The third home run of the season. Looked like he had power. You'd have thought the way he swung on that ball, he had 10 to 12.
Monty Lee in his 4th season as the head coach at Clemson. He has led the Tigers to a regional in each of the last 4 seasons. This year included the first 3. They were a host this year on the road. 167 wins in his 4 seasons. Clemson batting order will face Doug Nikhazy, freshman left-hander from Windermere, Florida. He was not the most highly talked about freshman on this Ole Miss pitching staff. That was Gunnar Hoagland, who was a first-rounder. But Nikhazy has turned into the number 2 starter on the staff. 7-3 on the year, 69 strikeouts, 29 walks, and really competes well on the mound. And we welcome those of you just joining us. Ole Miss and Clemson headed to the bottom of the 1st inning. Rebels went 1-2-3 in the top of the 1st with a pop out and a couple of ground outs. Michael Green leading things off against Doug Nikhazy. Clemson, the home team in those purple jerseys. Green, the sophomore from South Carolina. 2 for 5 in yesterday's game. A win against Illinois. Richard Cross, Lance Cormier with you. Game 2, day 2 in the Oxford Regional. Big crowd at Swayze Field for the 2nd consecutive night. Hanging in the balance, the winner of this game moves on to the regional final. Certainly in the driver's seat when you get to 2-0 in this double elimination format. You lose this game, you've got to win twice tomorrow, and then you're trying to force a Monday night game as well. All in 2 strikes to Michael Green.
That's a big breaking ball by Doug Nikhazy. Looked a little bit up first live I saw, but yeah, a little high. You see Michael Green, though, that front shoulder leaves. Good sign for Nikhazy.
Strike 3 called. Green goes away looking at a fastball on the inside corner. Thomas Dillard, Ryan Olenek, and Tim Elko in the outfield. Elko drawing the start tonight after pinch hitting last night. Keenan Kessinger, Servideo, and Cole Zabowski on the infield. Servideo was in the outfield last night with Jacob Adams at second base. Cooper Johnson catching. And again, the freshman Doug Nikhazy on the mound.
Well, how about that at bat? Just missed that breaking ball. You think Michael Green was thinking another breaking ball was coming? He absolutely was frozen by that heater.
Logan Davidson now to the plate. Had a hit and a couple of walks yesterday. Struck out 1 time. Davidson projected as a first-round pick in the big league draft, which happens in 2 days, Monday night. No balls and 2 strikes. Logan Davidson's dad, Mark, also played at Clemson in 1982. Spent 6 seasons in Major League Baseball with the Twins and the Astros. The 0-2 from Nikhazy. 3-pitch strikeout. Back-to-back punch-outs to start the ball game for Nikhazy.
When you have this kind of atmosphere, that's how you keep him actively involved. Go out there and punch out the first 2 guys. First one was a heater looking. This one climbs the ladder. I'm telling you, Nikhazy's he's one of your better pitchers right now. I mean, I know Will Etheridge has been the ace all year, but you know, starting game 2, he's as good as you could have. Last 4 of his last 5 starts, he's given up 2 earned runs or less. And with the way Ole Miss has been swinging the bats, that'll be good enough.
Here's a guy who's been swinging it well, as locked in as any guy in the country. Grayson Bird, 11 home runs in his last 16 games. Count evens at a ball and strike to Grayson Bird, son of former major leaguer Paul Bird, who played at LSU and spent 14 years in the big leagues.
I ran into Paul on the way in from the left field stands out there when I was hanging around the crowd out there.
How was that?
It was fun, man. They're having some fun. Some good smells and barbecue.
A large time being had by all. Ball and 2 strikes to Grayson Bird.
Yeah, but Paul asked, "Hey, don't catch me going crazy." He said, the ACC tournament, they caught me going crazy. My wife was knitting. He said so. I said, well, we caught you yesterday. You was high-fiving everybody after that big home run.
1-2 pitch, chased one up and out of the zone.
Boy, welcome to the NCAA Regionals, Doug Nikhazy. 3 up, 3 down, 3 punch-outs. Looking, swinging. And the last one, the big one, another one swinging. He's excited.
Matt Clark for Clemson got a pop out, a couple of ground outs on the right side. Doug Nikhazy for Ole Miss struck out all 3 Clemson hitters that he faced. Cole Zabowski leading off for Ole Miss, gets ahead of the count 2-0.
You know, just looking at the first inning, you're like, oh, okay. Matt Clark kept that pitch count down. He was at 12, 8 strikes, so nice job. Well, Nikhazy struck out 3, you figure, well, he was at 12 pitches, 9 strikes, so he got it done very easily.
Zabowski chases an elevated fastball. The velocity that you're going to see with Matt Clark, as we mentioned in the first inning, does not overwhelm you. He's 84, 85, 86. A lot of movement, though. And the thing that folks were telling us before the game that allows him to be so good, Lance, is nobody hits anything hard. It's hard to barrel him up.
Well, that's a big thing. Is he's a frustrating at bat. You know, it seems like he nibbles. He's around the zone. He'll change speeds on you, even on a curveball.
This one's hit hard to the wall. It's gone. Cole Zabowski goes deep, and Ole Miss takes an early 1-0 lead. Put a charge into that ball and put a charge into this crowd.
Yeah, he takes that hanging slider right there. Just a little bit too much, spinning sideways, and Zabowski deposited it into the right center field wall. That's how you electrify the crowd early. Well, that's a great shot right there.
So Ole Miss strikes first against Clemson here in the top of the second inning. Here's Cooper Johnson. Johnson 1 for 4 in last night's ball game with a run batted in. Scored a couple of runs.
Matt Clark's one of those pitchers, though. He needs to pitch ahead in the count. He's got to be in those advantage counts, 0-2, 1-2. Because just the stuff is not overpowering enough to fall behind the guy and then just say, hey, look, I'm just going to challenge right at you and go get you.
Two and two to Cooper Johnson. After Zabowski's home run, 4 different Ole Miss hitters have gone deep this weekend. You had home runs last night from Tyler Keenan, Thomas Dillard, and Anthony Servideo. That was Zabowski's 11th of the season. Big news nationally. Oregon State has been eliminated in the Corvallis Regional. They were the number 16 national seed, the 1 seed at home. Lost last night to Cincinnati. And dropped one to Creighton earlier today. All 10 SEC teams will still be playing on Sunday. Some of them facing elimination. And how about Jacksonville State here in the Oxford Regional and Central Connecticut in the Fayetteville Regional, both picking up their first ever NCAA tournament wins. Fly ball center field. This one's pretty well hit. Teodosio on the run. That ball is gone, and Ole Miss goes back-to-back jacks.
Cooper Johnson said, the shower party, I'm ready to get involved in it too. Yeah, Matt Clark knew it right off the bat. That ball was absolutely crushed. Teodoso gave it a shot, but he hit that ball out where I did that little interview, Rich.
Those folks may have gotten a souvenir just to the left of straightaway center field. So 3 ground balls, well, a pop-up, lazy pop-up, and 2 ground balls for Ole Miss in the first inning. Back-to-back solo shots. And now Tyler Keenan at the plate, who hit his 14th home run of the season last night. Left-on-left matchup. Swung through the breaking ball.
Ole Miss went back-to-back earlier this year. Tyler Keenan and Thomas Dillard did that on March 20th against Arkansas Pine Bluff. Can't really find out if they went back-to-back-to-back. You got the guy who could possibly do it.
Strike nips the corner. Full count now to Tyler Keenan. Keenan 2 for 4 with a run scored and 2 driven in last night. Maybe a little bit low. Tyler Keenan was quite certain on that. And a meeting on the mound.
Yeah, that ball started down, stayed down. Keenan had a good take on it.
Only 3 hitters have come to the plate, but they've all worked the count. Matt Clark has thrown 19 pitches already in this inning to just 3 hitters. For more coverage of the Division I baseball regionals and interactive brackets, go to ncaa.com.
Speaking of home runs, how about Baylor's Shea Langoliers? Already has 3 homers, 11 RBIs. They're up 20-4 right now over Omaha.
He has 3 in the game?
3 in the game. And so he still has another at-bat left. And if he was able to get one, would tie the single game record of 4 home runs. Matt Diaz, former teammate of mine, did that in 1998 against Oklahoma from Florida State. 4 homers in the game.
That's in the Los Angeles Regional, hosted by UCLA, number 1 overall national seed. Here's Tim Elko drawing a start tonight, playing right field. It's the start because of the right-handed bat against the left-handed pitcher, Matt Clark. Back-to-back solo home runs and a full count walk to start the inning. Not a stall tactic for Matt Clark because there's nobody in the Clemson bullpen. Flip side, Tyler Keenan, not much of a threat to run.
Sometimes you come set as a pitcher and it just doesn't feel right. And so especially as a lefty, I mean, instead of stepping off, it's just as easy just to lift the leg. And a lot of times you just frustrate the base runner and the hitter as well. So
the crowd.
Sometimes, yeah, the crowd will get involved. But the last thing I want to do right now is get the crowd even more frustrated or involved after giving up those 2 home runs.
2-0 to Elko. Tim Elko making his first start since April the 16th, a game against Memphis. Prior to last night's single in the 9th inning, Elko was in an 0 for 12 slump. He's hitting 167 on the year. One runs inside, 3-0. Well, as bad as the back-to-back home runs are to start the inning, those are still solo home runs. Far more concerning would be back-to-back walks after the back-to-back home runs.
Absolutely. Well, you know, the coaches will always say, hey, solo home runs don't beat you. I got a nice little story of. But you're right, back-to-back walks will definitely kill you. How about that? 5 solo home runs in one game I gave up in my rookie year against the Rockies. So they say solo home runs don't beat you. I disagree. When you give up 5 of them.
Clemson about to get things going in the bullpen. That's Sam Weatherly, who has been a regular this year for Clemson. He's pitched in 20 games as a reliever. The plan for Monty Lee and Clemson was certainly not to have somebody warming in the bullpen in the top of the 2nd inning.
Well, especially when they feel like they have their best guy going. They pushed him back and went with Hennessy yesterday, saying, hey, can we get that first game? And we feel really comfortable with Matt Clark on the mound.
Anthony Servideo.
Yeah, we saw it last night. Garrett Farmer came in with unbelievable numbers for Jacksonville State. There's just something about the atmosphere, this place. It's not an easy to pitch, and then when the offense gets going, it's you know, you keep wanting to look down and you want to stall, let that guy get warmed up in the bullpen. Say, I'll hand the ball off to you, man.
Video showing bunt, trying to sacrifice. Bunts at third base side. Clark gets the out. Runners move up. Keenan to third. Elko to second. The sacrifice for Servideo. The first out of the inning. You like the bunt there?
I do. I mean, it's early in the game. You get 2 guys over. Now they can score in so many different ways. You get a ground ball, you get one through, all of a sudden you get 2. Yeah, because, I mean, Matt Clark's a guy that if all of a sudden something figures out, he can, you know, start to roll. So every run is precious right now.
Knox LaPosser drawing the start and takes high for ball 1. Would the argument against it there be that you've given up back-to-back home runs and back-to-back walks, and now you're just giving up an out?
There is that argument because, you know, you give them that easy out. But, I mean, I think you still got to play baseball the right way. You got to play the game.
Posser. Thomas Dillard at the top of the lineup waits on deck. Ole Miss runners at second and third with 1 out. Solo home runs from Zabowski and Johnson to start the inning. Posser chases one up and out of the zone. Chopper to third, fielded by Hawkins. Thinks about home, but then decides to go across the diamond. Keenan comes home to score. Elko rolls the dice, but he's safe at third, and they're 2 down in the inning.
Yeah, I thought Hawkins did a nice job right there, not trying to get to run it home, especially that ball was popped up off the ground pretty high. You know, it's one of those, it's right at him. Yeah, you're going to go home with it, but right now you need every out you can get. As he looked Elko back, it looks like Elko didn't go all the way back, so it was one of those, if you wanted to take the chance, a full arm fake, and you know Elko was coming, you've been standing there like, I got you, my man.
2 down in the inning for Thomas Dillard. Went after the first pitch of the game and popped it up to shallow right field. Thomas Dillard last night 2 for 5 with 2 runs driven in and a home run. 30 pitches here in the top of the second inning for Matt Clark of Clemson.
Look at this shift, Richard. That's probably one of the bigger shifts I've ever seen.
Big hole on the right side.
Safe to say he's a pull hitter.
Well, Thomas Dillard, a switch hitter. Obviously against the lefty, swinging it from the right side.
And this might also show how they're going to pitch Thomas Dillard. Maybe breaking balls coming in on him, so he's going to pull the ball as well. And you got to think, if he throw a fastball or anything away that he's even just a little bit late on, I mean, you get it past the pitcher, it's a hit on the right side. Doesn't matter. Because if you make Grayson Bird move a little bit at right or at first base, if he has to go at all to his right, there's no way the pitcher will get there.
Matt Clark really nibbling on that outside corner. Count's gone to 3-1 for Thomas Dillard. I know as a hitter, the first thing you got to think is hit it hard, but with that kind of a hole. Check swing. Dillard did not commit and earns the walk. That's the 3rd walk of the inning by Matt Clark. Like he held up.
Man, that's just strong wrist right there to be able to start that swing and stop it all of a sudden. He does have forearms for days.
Is that a spinach diet?
Yeah, he just looks like a ball player. Little Popeye forearms, but man, that's just a gamer. Great chance in the 9th inning, you look at that uniform, there's going to be dirt somewhere on that uniform. He's probably one that's never had a clean uniform.
Another guy that falls into that category is Ryan Olenek. And you look at Thomas Dillard and you don't necessarily think speed, but he has been pretty good this year. 14 of 17 in stolen bases.
Yeah, that's the sneaky part about his game. You look at him, you're like, all right, let's just pitch. And if you even think about it, he's going to take second on you. 14 of 17, and not just 14 bags, but he's getting it done at a good clip.
No balls and 2 strikes to Ryan Olenek. Nice grab up there.
Man, watch this catch. The foul ball. He goes back with just a left hand. Sits down like, yeah, I've done that before.
Ole Miss's 16 runs last night. 10 were driven in with 2 outs in an inning.
Well, even when Matt Clark's been able to get ahead 0-2, 1-2, and be in those advantage counts, you just haven't been able to put the Ole Miss hitters away. And sometimes that is due to the non-overpowering stuff or a strike zone that's going to be a little bit smaller than you're used to. Heck, just the way Ole Miss, their approach, very patient. They're going to make you work for it.
Strikeout of Ryan Olenek to end the inning. For the 57th time this season, Ole Miss scores 3 or more runs in an inning. Big flies from Cole Zabowski and Cooper Johnson. Ole Miss on top, 3-0. You're watching the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Out of the second inning here in Oxford, Ole Miss and Clemson playing on the winner's side game. The winner moves on to the regional final. The loser of this game will play Jacksonville State tomorrow afternoon, 2 o'clock local time, in an elimination game. Kyle Wilkie had a big game yesterday for Clemson. A career-high 4 hits in the ballgame, went 4 for 5 with 3 runs batted in. Casey, I think, trying to figure out how much.
Hey, that's the mark of a good pitcher. How far can I go? What are you going to give me? All of a sudden, he starts going out far. He's going to be tough to hit. Already tough to hit, but if you give a guy 1 to 2 inches off the plate.
Wilkie fouls it back, a ball and 2 strikes. So, yeah, yesterday, Kyle Wilkie 4 for 5 with 3 runs batted in. Had a big 2-run base hit in the 7th inning. It really kind of opened it up in Clemson's opening round of game against Illinois. They won it 8-4. One, 2. Down the right field line to be on the right field wall, still dealing with the setting sun over the third base side of the stadium. The 1-2. Ground ball left side. Keenan awkwardly fields it, throws across in time to get Wilkie.
A lot of times you see that as a line drive, you think it's hit harder. There's a ground ball. Tyler Keenan looks like he thinks it was hit a little bit harder, but able to make that play. Nice pickup.
That was the I've got to dive for it. Oh, maybe I don't actually have to dive for it, but I already kind of started diving.
Well, you're talking about getting those pants dirty. We talk about ball players. He heard us talking, saying that you're not really, to be considered a ball player, you got to get dirty, right? But a lot of times as a pitcher, you'll have that like line drive. It's almost like a change-up line drive where you jump and react, and you realize, oh, wait, it still isn't here yet because he hit it off the end of the bat. Looked like that kind of ground ball. Well, that's a nice get-me-over breaking ball. Not trying to do too much with it. Already down 1-0. That's just confidence in your secondary pitch to throw that behind in the count.
Doug Nikhazy struck out the first 3 that he saw in the game. Clemson struck out only 6 times as a team in yesterday's game. Briar Hawkins drawing the start tonight. He was a pinch hitter yesterday. Went 0 for 1 in his only at bat. Hawkins has played a lot in his freshman season, and he rifles this one foul out of play on the right side. How about as a true freshman hitting .324 in conference play? That's what Hawkins did in the ACC this year. Played some first base and some DH.
like the overall numbers, though, just as a solid freshman year. 282, 7 home runs, 7 doubles.
Well, how about an opening college baseball at bat that you'll never forget? First career plate appearance, 3-run jack for Briar Hawkins. Chopper to short. Kessinger has to wait on the big hop. And they're 2 down after a couple of ground ball outs in the second. Against Texas A&M in the SEC tournament, Doug Nikhazy threw 8 innings, gave up just 3 hits, did not allow a run. Didn't have big strikeout numbers, only struck out 2 through 107 pitches. And a win for Ole Miss to move to 7-3. Jordan Green. Sees the day, Jordan Green. Senior from Fort Mill, South Carolina. It's a fly ball to straightaway center. 6 up, 6 down for Clemson to start the game, dealing with Doug Nikhazy. 3-0 after 2, Ole Miss with the lead. Ray Kessinger will lead off for Ole Miss in the top of the 3rd inning. Batting in the 3-hole tonight. Kessinger, first team All-SEC this year, 80 hits, which was 6th best, tied for 6th in the SEC. A 40-game on-base streak started in early March, went through the middle of May. Best offensive season of Ray Kessinger's career. Another guy whose name will likely be called next week early.
Because all that right there, that's not what defines him as a player. That glove and that arm is what defines him as a player just as much as the bat.
Out in front.
We get another catch down there?
You sure you want to try and catch that one?
No, I don't think so. But exciting atmosphere, and not only they come, they bring their games too. A couple snags.
Kessinger, one hopper to Davidson at short. Nice play by Logan Davidson. I'm not sure that there are 2 better shortstops playing in the same game anywhere in America tonight.
Yeah, he ought to know better to hit it right at him.
Cole Zabowski got the scoring started in this game when he led off the 2nd inning. Big fly number 11 on the season for Zabowski, made it 1-0. Shift is on for Zabowski. Off speed can make you look silly as a hitter.
Especially he takes a little bit. He does a nice job of adding and subtracting miles an hour on his off speed. A lot of times guys will just throw that up there. You know, if your curveball's, hey, my slider curveball is 77 miles an hour, most times 78. Like, he does a nice job of putting one at 74, one a little bit harder.
Zabowski now behind in the count, 1-2. Well, now base is empty. Top of the 3rd. Matt Clark trying to have a bounce back inning. Zabowski spoils that pitch to stay alive, and it's not again, it's not a bounce back because of the home runs. It's the 3 walks I think really concern you in the pitch count, closing in on 60.
Yeah, and looking at, you're trying to be 15 an inning, so you're looking at trying to be at 45 after 3, and so knocking on the door is 60 in just 2 1/3 innings. You know, Richard, you mentioned, you know, we might have the 2 best shortstops according to D1 baseball. They have Logan Davidson ranked number 3, Greg Kessinger ranked number 6 behind Josh Smith and Casey Martin in Arkansas. So I mean, I think arguably you can shift those around, but I think it'd be tough to argue finding 2 as good as shortstops in this game.
Zabowski, a jam shot there because of what he did in his last at bat. You got the big reaction from the crowd, just a fly ball out. So Zabowski hit the first home run. Cooper Johnson in his first at bat of the game followed it up.
This ball was absolutely crushed. Pretty follow through right there. He just held the bat out. Love the little celebration Ole Miss has when they get after a home run.
Those 2 guys you mentioned, though, Josh Smith at LSU and Casey Martin at Arkansas, I don't think either of them are draft eligible. You're dealing with just sophomores with those 2 guys.
I think Smith is. Martin is definitely not, but I think Smith is.
Okay. How about the transition that Casey Martin made this year from third base a year ago to shortstop?
He had caught fire. Remember, probably about 2 or 3 weeks into conference play, he was sitting around like the 220 mark, and then all of a sudden he's up to 320 with a lot of home runs, but recently hit a little slide back down in the 290 range. He's in that Dustin Pedroia type mode. You know, little guy can play some defense, but a lot of pop.
Cooper Johnson came out of his shoes and out of the batter's box on that swing and came up empty. The Oxford Regional and the Fayetteville Regional are paired. Arkansas and TCU scoreless in the 4th inning. What a pitcher's duel they've got going there with Nick Lodolo on the mound for TCU and Isaiah Campbell for the Razorbacks. Just kind of looking at some of the matchups that are coming up tonight. I'm thinking about the winner's bracket game, Michigan and Cincinnati, the 3 seed and the 4 seed. In Corvallis, where I've got to believe the Beavers fans just don't know what to do with themselves. They are not used to that kind of result, especially at home. 2-2 pitch. Past the third baseman, Hawkins. He was even playing deep. Couldn't get his glove over to take away a base hit from Cooper Johnson, who's now 2 for 2. Bases loaded is the way for you to follow all that's going on the road to Omaha. Regional coverage this weekend on ESPN2, ESPNU, SEC Network, and ESPN3. Plus your whip-around coverage available through ESPN3 and the Bases Loaded channel. All coverage easily available on the ESPN app. Tyler Keenan walked his first time up. Takes ball 1 here. Clark 2 pitches away from 70 here in the top of the 3rd. Ole Miss hosting a regional here in Oxford for the 9th time in the program's history. All 9 of those have happened with Mike Bianco as the head coach. Going into the SEC tournament last week in Hoover, Ole Miss had lost 6 of 7. They played 6 games in 6 days, went 4-2. Fly ball to left, should be easy for Sam Hall. Squeezes it, and that ends the inning. 2-out base hit from Cooper Johnson. He is left stranded. 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the third. Go to the bottom of the third. Ole Miss leading 3-0 over Clemson. Monty Lee called his team together in the dugout early in this game. Pretty animated with his ball club.
I like that. I like that as a coach. Bring the team in. Hey, as bad as it seems, because it does seem bad, 2 big monster home runs. The pitcher's not doing his job like you would think he would. You could have expected. So, before it gets too far out of hand, bring the guys and say, look, hey, we've been in this situation before. It's only 3 runs.
That's probably a mix of you're riding your guys and you're encouraging your guys kind of all at once, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's way too late, early in the game to be able to, just to, stay on them. You gotta be able to encourage them, let them know you still believe in them. A lot of times you'll see coaches do that, and players will just kind of be, kind of looking away right there. Everybody was locked in on him. I mean, they know what the scenario is. They know what it means right now.
Sam Hall was 0 for 2 last night, walked 3 times. Hall is the premier base stealer on this team for Clemson, 30 of 35 coming into the regional, but was caught stealing twice. Both of the caught stealings were reviewed in the game last night, and both times the call on the field was upheld.
You figure you guys got 30 bags. If he gets thrown out, something had to happen, right? Probably not. Most likely he was safe, but no, they reviewed both calls. Jeff Corti came off the bench. 2 caught stealings were both Sam Hall. Illinois catcher. Been sitting all game and get to come off the bench like his first one. I don't even think he got thrown back to the pitcher. He was having to throw out Sam Hall.
2-2. Doug Nikhazy got 3 strikeouts in the bottom of the first inning. A couple of ground outs and a fly out in the second. Retired all 6 Clemson hitters that he has seen. Two to Hall. In his first SEC start of his career, Doug Nikhazy on the road with a Game 2 start against Missouri and carried a no-hitter into the 7th inning. Got the win on the road, the only win that Ole Miss got that weekend back in March. And the first base runner for Clemson is Sam Hall. Draws the full count walk. Game 2 of the NBA Finals is tomorrow on ABC and the ESPN app. The Raptors up 1-0. Fifth time the Warriors have trailed in a playoff series under Steve Kerr. They have won the previous 4. Coverage starts with NBA Countdown, 7:30 Eastern tomorrow night.
What you got in that series? A lot of people like to over-exaggerate and jump to conclusions after only 1 game, but you a Raptors believer?
I mean, isn't picking against the Golden State Warriors kind of like picking against Nick Saban in Alabama?
Hey, I like that.
Well,
some of these Clemson fans will kind of disagree.
You're right. You're right. As the sample size gets a little bit bigger, maybe you say like picking against Dabo and Clemson.
But right, the last thing you just read off, he's thinking they've fallen behind 5 series and they won the previous 4. So it's one of those you kind of got to go with Golden State until someone proves different.
How about Kawhi is the best player on the planet, but I'll take Golden State to win it all.
All right.
Runner on first is Sam Hall. 30 stolen bases on the year. Chopper to first. Zabowski hesitates, goes to second, and gets the lead runner. Hawkins reaches on a fielder's choice. How about this? Longest tenured coaches in SEC, Mike Bianco on a page there with Nick Saban. Nick Saban, 12 seasons in Tuscaloosa. Cal's been at Kentucky for 10 years. Mike Bianco, longest tenured coach of any of the major 3 men's sports in the Southeastern Conference.
Took one of my first recruiting trips to McNeese State when Coach Bianco was the head coach there in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
And you pronounced it right, didn't you? And you got to be from Louisiana to do that, right? To not call it McNeese, but McNeese.
McNeese State.
Saw our buddy Mike Rooney was getting on to Dave Neal earlier today for calling them McNeese, which is how most of the free world would pronounce it.
I didn't even think about that. McNeese State.
Bryce Teodosio at the plate. Swings and misses behind him, the count 0-2.
Boy, the crowd loved that one. Woo, as he swung over that ball.
Over the top of it by 6-8 inches.
Good breaking ball.
Teodosio only hitting .215 on the year, but he has got some pop in his bat. 9 home runs and 32 runs batted in. Got a piece of the elevated fastball to stay alive.
Not your typical 9-hole. You think you're just going to go right and attack at it. If you attack him, he's got a lot of pop. He can do some damage with it. Casey's breaking ball right now is really good. It's sharp, big breaking, but it's enough to keep the guys off balance. Just slow enough.
Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 4 for Doug Nikhazy in the first trip through the order.
The pitch we saw earlier was 76. This one was 74. So you talk about adding and subtracting on that pitch, taking 2 miles an hour off. You know, he might have been right on it if it's the 76 mile an hour breaking ball, but the 74 when he's still out in front. That's nice pitching by Nikhazy.
Michael Green. The curveball for strike 1. Monty Lee in the dugout, head coach in his 4th season at Clemson. We'll talk with him when we come back with the start of the 4th inning. Ball up.
I think so. Usually when you throw 2 in a row like that, he'll probably give you the second one.
You tested a 3rd time? Paint the corner with the fastball.
Yeah, no, you just absolutely rare bag painted with a 91 mile an hour fastball in the black. Michael Green was thinking another one was coming.
Maybe the best weekend of the year for Clemson came against Louisville. They won 2 of 3 in early April. Here's a chopper right side. That ball sneaks into right field. Hawkins goes first to third. And Clemson's got something going with 2 outs in the inning. Michael Green with the first hit of the night for Clemson.
But it looked like after that fastball down and away that Michael Green was sitting on the breaking ball, or that's what he was looking for. And Doug Nikhazy gave it right to him, and it wasn't like it was hit hard, just well placed. The chopper over is about to be nothing he could do, and that ball just enough. We're able to go first to third. Great base running by Hawkins.
Look at early in ACC play. Clemson had a sweep of North Carolina, who at the time was ranked third in the country. Beat them 3-2, 17-3, and 5-4. And then the 2 wins against Louisville. That's 5 big glowing check marks that were on the resume of Clemson. Getting into the tournament this year as a 3 seed after a 15-15 overall mark in the ACC. One of their big RBI guys at the plate right now, Logan Davidson. 55 driven in on the year. He's got runners at the corners with 2 down, trying to get Clemson on the board. These are the top 4 hitters in the lineup. You see Clemson's guys went 10 for 17 in their opening win against Illinois. Ole Miss's top 4 in the lineup, 7 for 18. It's pretty good production from leadoff 2, 3, and 4. Davidson takes a breaking ball for strike 2. Look out swinging on a fastball that was up and away. And his first at bat. Clemson looking for a 2-out hit. Ole Miss trying to put another 0 on the board. Runners at the corners. A 1-2 pitch coming to Logan Davidson. Pretty good job there by Cooper Johnson.
Really good job. 91-mile-an-hour fastball spiked. You could tell Nikhazy was getting that energy. The crowd was getting hyped up. He wants to finish this on a punch-out, and he spiked that fastball. I had to look. I'm like, man, that's a hard slider. I hadn't seen one that hard, but of course it was. It was a fastball. Saves a run, more importantly.
Lifted into center. Brian Olenek. Clemson strands a pair. We'll talk with Monty Lee when we come back. Leading 3-0 over Clemson as we go to the 4th inning. Monty Lee joins us. He's taken to Clemson to a regional in all 4 seasons that he's been their head coach. And Coach, tough start in this one. You had a visit with your team in the dugout before that last half inning. What do you say to your guys? What's your message right now?
Just to embrace the environment. This is an unbelievable environment that we're playing in tonight against a really good club. Let's embrace it. Let's compete. Let's enjoy the moment. And that was really it. Just try to relax our guys and try to get them to compete.
Well, it looked like they did. Like after that meeting, they're much better at bats that last inning. What do you think it's going to take to be able to get Nikhazy to get to him?
Well, he's throwing that breaking ball at the top of the strike zone, then the fastball just above the belt right after it. So it's really tough right now. We've been trying to get our guys to lay off the fastball above the belt, but he's doing a good job of throwing that fastball and breaking ball in the same tunnel. So we just got to push his fastball down and be on time to it when we get it, and hopefully we can get some runners on base so somebody can run into a ball.
Coach, thanks a lot.
Yep.
Monty Lee. Interesting insight into what he's seeing that he thinks his hitters are seeing from Doug Nikhazy.
Well, I think he's right. I mean, we've talked about, just think of the 2 breaking balls to Michael Green that looked really close that they just didn't get the call. I mean, that's a high breaking curveball. And so if he starts getting that called a strike, on a consistent basis, that makes his fastball up in the zone that much better because they see the spin right there of the ball right about the, right under the letters. And you're like, all right, it's going to be a curveball. So I got to get ready to swing. And all of a sudden it's a fast one. It's too late and it's blown by you.
Tim Elko fouls that one away, gets to 2-2.
So when he says to tunnel that fastball and get it down, you start to see, you'll hear these things like a sidearm guy. You got to get him up in the zone. A guy like this that pitches up, you got to bring him down so that way that big breaking ball, you can take that and put it out of your, mindset.
2-2 pitch rifled off of Clark. Davidson able to run it down and make for a pretty close play at first base. And you're always concerned when you see one of those rockets right back up the middle. Catch on the forearm.
It looked like he got the pitching arm.
You ever had that scenario on the mound where you had a comebacker that just nailed you?
More times than you want to think about. I mean, I've had multiple times where he hit you in the back, kind of you turn and, get you in the back of the leg, the butt or whatever. But in minor league baseball, I took one off the back of the kind of the ear, skull portion. I've had a little fracture in my skull and spending 2 nights in the hospital. So it was one of those things. One night in ICU, had a little bleeding on the brain, ball line drive. It wasn't a line drive. It was just a hard hit ground ball that I went to field, hit something, popped up, and I turned my head. But, man, those things are scary when you're on the mound.
So pretty much the scariest situation possible as a pitcher.
Yeah, it's one of those where
you just said you spent the night in the ICU and had brain bleeding.
It's one of those where, once the minor league season was over, I was due to get called up to go to the High A playoffs in Lancaster, California, and I ended up not being able to do that because I had to spend 2 extra weeks after the season in South Bend, Indiana, to see the doctor before I was able to, be cleared to go home. But it was one of those things. I was newly married. My wife had jumped on the field. I'm like, baby, you can't come on the field. I didn't even know she was on the field. No, I didn't know she was on the field until 2 or 3 days later.
Good to see Matt Clark appears to be okay. And it was not the throwing arm. It was the glove hand. They were looking at that right arm. So it was kind of a glancing.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It looked like, after seeing it in that replay, it looked like more of a glancing blow. But that's the best case scenario for Matt Clark.
Productive night at the plate for Tim Elko. He's been on base twice, and this is a guy that's hitting below 200. A walk and a hot shot single off the forearm of the pitcher, Matt Clark. Now Anthony Servideo, who bunted at a sacrifice bunt his first time up, takes a strike.
Elko's making Coach Bianco look smart, putting him in the lineup, coming through for him.
Anthony Servideo 2 for 3 last night. 3 runs scored in his second home run of the season. 2-run blast over the right center field wall. Servideo hits it sharply to right field. Now a throw coming back toward first. That one too tall for Bird. Green just turned and threw it as hard as he could. And Elko hurting as he goes back in hard to first. And they immediately called out the Ole Miss trainer. Looking at his left hand, and you don't see an umpire react the way that Ramon Armendariz did. They immediately asked for the trainer to come out. Diving back into that bag, and that's where you see the finger injuries a lot of times.
Yeah, I don't know if he got it diving, like if it hit the bag or if Grayson Bird came down on him. It was one of those things where Grayson had to go up for the ball right here. I don't know if he came down on the hand.
The left hand. And I think it was the left hand that went into the bag. Not Bird coming back down on him. See Mike Bianco asking him if he could still go, and Elko said, yeah,
I'm not going out of the lineup.
Coach, you haven't started me since April. I'm not coming out.
So I'm just trying to get a little bit more TV time.
I think for the sake of your stomach, we probably won't show you the up-close shot of Tim Elko and the immediate aftermath of his hand. That pinky finger had to be straightened back out after going into first base. He'd gotten way off the bag. He read that ball as down to right field, and then when Green made the catch, had to hustle to get back to the bag. ESPN networks bring you every game on the road to Omaha, starting with regional coverage this weekend. ESPN2, ESPNU, SEC Network, and ESPN3. Whip-around coverage also available through the ESPN3 or through ESPN3, the Bases Loaded channel. All coverage available on the ESPN app. Oven mitt time for Tim Elko. One away for Knoxville Posser. Grounded out to third his first time up. Picked up an RBI. 9th of the year for LaPosser. Richard Cross, Lance Cormier with you from Swayze Field in Oxford, Mississippi. Ground ball up the middle. That's a base hit for LaPosser. A bit of production out of the bottom of the lineup for Ole Miss. For Elko, a walk and a single, a sacrifice bunt from Servideo, RBI and a base hit from Knox LaPosser. And that gets it back to the top of the order for the guys that kind of scare you in this Ole Miss lineup.
That's not how you want to draw it up for Matt Clark. You know, a lot of times you know you're going to struggle sometimes against the top of that lineup, but when all of a sudden you have the bottom of the lineup getting on base to bring up, roll over that lineup for the third time. These Ole Miss hitters get to see him for the third time. This might be it for him, though.
That's the first hit for Knox LaPosser in nearly 2 months. Clemson is going to make a pitching change as Monty Lee goes to the mound. Sam Weatherly waiting at the door for his name to be called. The gate comes open and a new pitcher is coming in. So Matt Clark lasts 3 1/3. Ole Miss leading 3-0, top of the fourth. We'll be back to Oxford after this. Weatherly into the game, 6'3", 205-pound left-handed sophomore from Howell, Michigan. He has been used a lot this year. 21st appearance of the season, 27 2/3 innings. More walks than the coaching staff would like, 42 strikeouts, 25 walks on the year. In the game yesterday against Illinois, starter Hennessy not able to get very deep in the game. They handed the reins over to Davis Sharp, and he carried it the rest of the way. He went 6 2/3. Now, Sharp likely would have been the third starter this weekend for Clemson, but he did preserve the rest of the bullpen, didn't have to have them use any other arms. And so now if they need a similar outing from Weatherly.
Well, they talked about all hands on deck. They, you know, they do everything they can to win this ball game. And so, you know, if you've pitched before and you're wearing a uniform, you better be ready to go.
Thomas Dillard, 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Stays on the right side as Clemson goes lefty-lefty in this game. The lefty starter Matt Clark to the lefty Sam Weatherly. One thing that Sam Weatherly has done well is not allow extra base hits. In 27 2/3 innings, he's given up a total of 3 extra base hits, 2 doubles and 1 home run. Strike call to Thomas Dillard, 1-1. Scary moment earlier in the inning. Tim Elko lined one off the forearm The starting pitcher, Matt Clark. Clark was okay, able to stay in the game. Servideo flew out, and then Knox LaPosser singled up the middle. 1-2 now to Dillard.
I like that fastball, man. 1-1, challenge the guy. That opens up a slider, breaking ball down on that batted foot, or another fastball on that same spot.
Weatherly picks to second. Yeah, this hasn't been a healthy half inning. The line drive off the forearm for Matt Clark. Pretty rough looking play at first as Tim Elko had to dive back in, trying not to be doubled off after a fly ball to right. He had to tape his right pinky finger and ring finger together. 2-2, that one just off the plate. Wilkie held that one a little extra to see if he might get the call. Clemson, a team that spends a lot of time studying the analytics. Told us high spin rate on the fastball from Weatherly. Was able to bury that one and get Dillard to chase it for a strikeout. Good first batter for Sam Weatherly.
Yeah, very nice at bat right there for Weatherly going up. I mean, he set him up. To me, the best pitch was that 1-1 fastball in. Really opened everything up. Then he paints that ball away where, like you said, Wilkie holds that ball. Has Dillard thinking, all right, if he goes out there again, I got to be ready for it. And that's what opens up, man, the back foot breaking ball. It was a nice slider.
Ryan Olenek steps in with 2 outs in the inning, first and second. Ole Miss 11 for 22 at the plate this weekend with 2 outs. All in the dirt, gets away. Wilkie throws to third, not in time as Elko and LaPosser move up. Wild pitch.
That's when Elko slides head first and uses that left hand again.
No, he's got the oven mitt
yeah,
now.
But still,
so.
though, the trading staff's like, man, use the other hand. Go feet first or something.
Nobody really slides feet first anymore, do they?
Right, no. Right there, I would. That's one of those easy. If you have to get down, a feet first slide right there at third base.
Oh, yanked foul by Ryan Olenek. I remember going to baseball camp. And I was like, I don't know, 10 or 11. And like the big deal of baseball camp was the day they pulled the slip and slide out to do the sliding drill, like practicing pop-up slides.
The last day, yeah, you just break out the big visqueen tarp and throw the hose on it, and every kid just going sliding with it. That is something you do in big league spring training. They'll break out like a padded mat, and especially the pitchers trying to teach them how to slide so they don't get hurt in the National League if you get on base.
Not a day you guys look forward to?
No, that's actually the one of the days you do.
That was fun?
Yeah. It's much better than, fielding drills and shagging fly balls. So it was actually something you got to do because it wasn't like you had to run very far. And it wasn't sliding on the dirt, so it didn't hurt.
Ball and 2 strikes to Olenek. He's 0 for 2. This one gets away. Olenek held his ground. Elko comes home to score, and it's now 4-0. Second wild pitch of the at-bat.
Another breaking ball going to the back foot. Wilkie not able to get all the way over to square his body up. He got a piece of it, but you got to be able to get that body over there. It was a tough pitch to block.
Now Knox LaPosser at third base. Full count now to Ryan Olenek. 2 down in the inning, runners at the corners, a strikeout and then a walk.
Boy, Sam Weatherly wanted that pitch. Thought that was a little bit up and away. The winning guy does a tough take, though.
They've got a pitcher's duel going in Fayetteville. Arkansas's Isaiah Campbell, TCU's Nick Lodolo, scoreless in the bottom of the 5th. TCU is the home team. Way upstairs to Greg Kessinger. Kessinger was 1 for 3 last night, 3 runs scored, 0 for 2 tonight. We welcome those of you who have been watching Liberty and North Carolina. Ole Miss leading 4-0 in a 1-0 game against the Clemson Tigers. Ole Miss, the visiting team. Alongside Lance Cormier, former Alabama star and big leaguer, I'm Richard Cross. We're glad to have you along. Winner of this game advances to the regional final tomorrow night at Swayze Field. Another packed house, over 10,000. Clemson out of the ACC and Ole Miss from the SEC. Ole Miss has runners at the corners. Greg Kessinger at the plate, 0 for 2 in the ballgame. Couple of ground outs, 1 to second, 1 to short. Scoring got started in the top of the 2nd inning when Ole Miss put 3 runs on the board. Cole Zabowski and Cooper Johnson went back-to-back with solo home runs, then a couple of walks. Clemson has gone to its bullpen. Sam Weatherly has replaced Matt Clark. Weatherly gets a strike there on the inside corner. On the other side of things, Ole Miss starter Doug Nikhazy and struck out 4, including striking out the side in the bottom of the 1st to start the ball game. Four runs, 5 hits for Ole Miss, no runs and a hit for Clemson. Got to this point by Ole Miss beating Jacksonville State last night 16-2. Clemson beating Illinois 8-4. Pitch just missed, and once again Sam Weatherly thought that he had strike 3.
Well, I can promise you, home plate umpire Mike Morris, that's the last thing you want to see, a guy run off on you multiple times in back-to-back hitters.
Ole Miss has Knox LaPosser at third base, Ryan Olenek at first with 2 down in the 4th. Earlier today here in the Oxford Regional, Jacksonville State got its first ever NCAA tournament win, coming from behind to knock out Illinois. Illinois, the 2 seed in the Oxford Regional. Jacksonville State, who lost last night to Ole Miss, was 0-9 all-time in regional play prior to the win earlier today. They will play in the elimination game tomorrow. Kessinger holds up. According to first base umpire Ramon Armendariz, and the bases are loaded for Ole Miss with Cole Zabowski coming to the plate. In the 2nd inning, Cole Zabowski got the scoring started for Ole Miss. A no-doubter to right field.
That hanging breaking ball, middle part of the plate. And you're right, he did get the party started. A little different type of pitcher, though. Weatherly coming with the 93-mile-an-hour heater, hard slider.
This ball lifted to left. Long run for Hall. That ball falls foul. Sam Hall may have just made a friend. And that one off to a little guy in the seats.
When you're out there all alone in the outfield, you got a lot of ruckus crowd. You got to make as many friends as you can. Don't know how much influence the little man has on everybody else, but
maybe not a lot.
If everybody sees it, like, all right, you know, Sam Hall, let's take care of him. Maybe let's lay off of him a little bit.
Foul off again. 0-2 to Cole Zabowski. Weatherly trying to get out of the inning. Zabowski just gets a piece of that one to stay alive at the plate.
Oh, that was a nasty slaughter by Weatherly. Zabowski wanted no part of that, but he's lucky enough to stay alive. It's a huge at bat for Clemson. You don't want to fall that much more behind. You're already down 4-0. Weatherly up 0-2, so he's in a great position.
Breaking ball in the dirt. Smothered by Wilkie, steps on the plate for the force to end the inning. Ole Miss adds a run and they lead 4-0. Good start to this ball game for Doug Nikhazy. 3 strikeouts, looking, swinging, and swinging. And he was fired up after 1 inning of work. Second inning, Ole Miss got the offense going. Cole Zabowski, deep shot over the right field wall. Cooper Johnson followed it up, back-to-back jacks as he went over the left center field wall. That made it 2-0 Ole Miss. Rebels would add 1 more run and then add another run in the 4th. Matt Clark, the Clemson starter, last 3 1/3, gave up 3 runs. He had only allowed 1 earned run in his previous almost 15 innings.
Yeah, it's one of those things. He just never looked comfortable out there. Couldn't really find the strike zone. When he did, the Ole Miss Rebel hitters made him pay. I love that energy, though, on that last strikeout in the first inning from Nikhazy, the freshman in his first ever postseason appearance.
Grayson Bird struck out swinging his first time up. Bird has been red hot for Clemson over the last 3 weeks or so. 11 home runs in his last 16 games. Graduated with a degree in Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Management back on the 9th of May. Second time he was named first team All-ACC. Grayson Bird, the senior from Milton, Georgia. He missed it earlier, the son of Paul Bird, 14-year big league veteran, played at LSU. Grayson Bird takes a strike, a little bit of a delayed call there, and I don't think he liked it. 2-2. And Paul in the stands this weekend. He was excited to see home run number 16 yesterday. Bird chases one out of the zone. Second time in the game that he has struck out. First out of the inning. That started yesterday with Clemson and Illinois. Clemson won that game 8-4. Ole Miss, a lot of offense in the nightcap, 16-2. Jacksonville State, told you, first ever postseason win. They were 0-9 prior to today's win over Illinois, 7-5. Jacksonville State will meet the loser of this game in an elimination game tomorrow. The winner between Ole Miss and Clemson tonight advances to that regional final.
Yeah, huge congratulations to Coach Jim Case for Jacksonville State getting that first win. 40 years coaching at Jacksonville State, finally getting that first NCAA. There he is.
A little scouting tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Coach Case, a baseball guy, 40 years as a player, an assistant coach, head coach last 18, Jacksonville State. A couple of stints as an assistant coach at Mississippi State. Assistant coach at UAB. He's got the South covered on the baseball front.
You know what they call those baseball lifers. You know, it's one of those, once the game's going, like, what am I going to do? All he ever knows is baseball. He's up here by himself. No other assistant coaches with him scouting. He's just over here watching by himself.
All in 2 strikes to Kyle Wilkie. Wilkie's got 11 runs batted in his last 7 games. Took over the starting catcher job late in the 2017 season because of an injury to the guy in front of him, and has owned it ever since. Swings and misses, another strikeout for Doug Nikhazy. That's 2 in a row here in the 4th and 6 in the game. Mike Bianco joins us when we come back for the top of the 5th inning with his team at the plate. Hard not to be pleased with his starting pitcher right now. One hit allowed.
I'd agree with you.
Oh, man. That hook. When you let go of a ball like that, do you know what the result's going to be most of the time?
Like I'm saying, when you're feeling it, and like he looks like he's feeling it, he has a great feel. He doesn't miss by much with that breaking ball.
Ball line to right. Tim Elko runs it down, bum hand and all. 1, 2, 3 for Clemson in the 4th.
But yes, you do.
4-0, Ole Miss leading over Clemson as we go to the top of the 5th inning, joined now by Mike Bianco. Coach, another big crowd, a big atmosphere tonight, and you always hope that you get a moment early in a game that can kind of get the crowd into it. You got that with back-to-back home runs in the 2nd inning, and they've really been engaged ever since.
No, you're right. You know, 2 really good swings by Zebo and Coop, and then some really grinded out at bats. Keenan walks, I think Elko walks. We get a bunt down by Servideo, and LaPasser, that's been on crutches for a couple weeks, gets him in.
Well, Coach, I mean, just as much as exciting as that, I love the energy effort from Doug Nikhazy that first inning after those 3 punch-outs, the fire he has. That freshman is showing up for you in his first appearance.
He really has. And, Lance, he's been with us, all year like that. He's been lights out and, a guy that pitches with emotion and doesn't pitch like a freshman, that's for sure.
Tim Elko able to stay in the game. He okay with the hand?
Yeah, he, the pinky dislocated. The doc put it back in, and, he felt good enough. They taped it up, and, old school. He's back in
like
there.
It.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Mike Bianco. Did pinky dislocated it. Doc able to put it back in.
Well said, Coach.
Pop up. Green, the second baseman, goes out. He's able to handle it.
That was just so nonchalant. Oh, yeah. Doc able to put it back in, just popped it back in. We threw the up and mid on. He was good. I mean, old school.
Tyler Keenan. Keenan walked and scored in the 2nd inning on the RBI ground out from Knox LaPasser. Flew out to left in the 3rd. Sam Weatherly in the game in the place of Matt Clark, the starter who went 3 1/3 final line on Clark. 5 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 3 walks and a strikeout. After entering in the 4th, Weatherly got a strikeout, walked back-to-back guys, and then got a strikeout of Cole Zabowski to get out of the 4th. no more damage. The 3-1 to Keenan. That's the third walk from Weatherly since entering. Tomorrow, the Sunday Night Baseball crew is in New York City for the series finale between the Red Sox and the Yankees. Last 60 meetings, 31 wins for the Bronx Bombers, 29 for the Red Sox. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern on ESPN, the ESPN app. Baseball tonight, Sunday Night Countdown.
You know, both those teams started off really bad, and everybody's like, oh, this is not going to happen, not going to happen. The Red Sox had that kind of World Series lull, and they're starting to play better. The Yankees are back at the top. They're going to mix in with the Tampa Bay Rays, but that's just such a tough division.
Who's in first in the NL East?
NL East?
Yeah. I'm sorry, the AL East?
Is it the Yankees?
Yeah, I think it's the Yankees.
Yeah, Yankees.
Just double checking, just making sure.
You must be a Yankee fan.
Just curious.
It's going to be a three-way battle throughout the year.
Big swing and a miss from Elko. So now he's got the two fingers of the batting glove taped together. Elko hammers that one foul. Tim Elko with a walk in the second inning, a single in the fourth inning, and scored a run. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 3. So he's doing the balancing act. 3 strikeouts, 3 walks for Sam Weatherly. It's entering into the game. He's on 33 pitches to get 4 outs. Anthony Servideo, sacrifice bunt in the second inning. Takes strike 1.
Mentioning right when you talked about Weatherly was coming in the stats at 25 walks, so now is at 28 with his 3. He's got that effectively wild. Hitter's only hitting 185, so it's just an uncomfortable at bat because you don't know what part of the zone he's going to be around. And he's got great stuff. I mean, the fastball 93 from the left side, a very hard, sharp slider, so it's a tough at bat. And just when you not know he's around the zone, you always hear that term effectively wild.
When I was making my notes on Sam Weatherly, I wrote down 42 strikeouts and 27 2/3. So obviously that's a great ratio. But then when we talked with some of the people from Clemson, part of the scouting report was too many walks. And you've seen that tonight. Strikeout's a big part of his arsenal, but he's going to walk guys.
As a coaching staff, it's tough because you'll show glimpses of, wow, this guy can be really dominant, and then all of a sudden lose his total concentration and, 4 or 5 pitches and you're loading up the bases on a bunch of walks in a row. So, stuff-wise, he's got the stuff to be, one of these lockdown relievers, just got to be locked in a little bit more.
Just off the plate, full count now to Anthony Servideo. Clemson's got a right-hander in the bullpen, Travis Marr. Throwing right now. He's been tossing, and then just every once in a while will toss one down to his catcher to stay loose. Pitch off the plate. Servideo able to hold up, and Ole Miss now has first and second with 2 down.
It's a really good take by Servideo. Tough breaking ball, 3-2. You're thinking be aggressive in the zone, but being able to spot that pitch out. You know, Richard, you mentioned the guy Travis Marr out there in the bullpen, you know, throwing pitch. That's just basically going pitch for pitch. We talked earlier last game before this at Jacksonville State and Illinois. They had a pitcher out there, and it seemed like he'd thrown 4 or 5 innings in the bullpen because he was getting loose every inning. And sometimes that can wear your arm out. So you can throw so many more pitches in the bullpen comparative to out here in the game. So you kind of got to go, hey, guy on the field throws a pitch, I throw a pitch.
Makes sense.
I mean, there's times where you have guys that the coach will have to stand in front of you because they just want to keep throwing, and you know, you'll throw 40 pitches for the pitcher on the field.
Give me the baseball.
Yeah, stop. Like, yeah. Oh, I've seen the bullpen coach in the big leagues walk up and say, "Let me have that baseball because you're throwing too much. You are ready."
Strike outside corner to Knox LaPosser. He's in a hole 0-2.
You got to think once you still have 7 to 8 pitches on the mound, on the game mound when you come to the field. That's what a lot of guys forget. You know, the bullpen's only just about getting your arm loose. So if they're about a couple throws.
This ball thrown out into center field, but Keenan not going to try to advance.
You got to think in the bullpen, you need, 10 to 15 throws and you get 8 more on the field. That's 20-something pitches. Should be good to go.
Two down, top of the 5th, 0-2 to Knox LaPosser. Chases some high heat, 95 miles an hour from Sam Weatherly. And the walk strikeout roller coaster continues. Ole Miss strands 2 more. All right, thanks a lot. How about that? Mike Martin, if they do pull it off this year, they'll pull it off as a 3 seed. You see the Fayetteville bracket. Arkansas and TCU, the winner in that championship game tomorrow night in Fayetteville. And you know they've got a great atmosphere going at Baum-Walker Stadium tonight. They love their Razorbacks in Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, I was able to do a regional there. This one here, they're both pretty good. It's
A couple pretty good spots.
Couple good spots.
When you did the Super Regional in Lubbock last year, right?
Yes, sir.
They've got a good atmosphere.
It really does. It was a game against Texas Tech versus Duke last year. A good 3-game set. They all went the whole 3 games.
Green lifts it down the right field line and out of play.
That's another team that's very offensive. Texas Tech. Josh Young. Gabe Holt, little center fielder, leadoff guy, sets the table.
Saw them against Oklahoma in Norman a month ago. That's an impressive team. Tim Tadlock's done a great job of that Texas Tech program. Chopper foul. Jordan Green flew out to center his first time up, behind in the count here, 1-2. That one went over the roof, out of the ballpark. Casey pitch count still in pretty good shape, sitting on 63. Breaking ball hung a little bit that time, and Jordan Green out in front of it.
It's one of those That's one of those ones with a little bit slower, and so looks like it's going to be there. I think he's going to get a chance to hit, but it's just slow enough. All you can do is pull it foul.
Another 1-2 pitch coming from Doug Nikhazy. Hit on the ground to third. Keenan takes his time and makes the throw across. Last night, Will Etheridge, game 1 starter, 7 innings, 3 hits, 3 strikeouts. Doug Nikhazy, 6 strikeouts and just 1 walk in the game tonight. And this is a freshman who, I mentioned it at the outset, he was not the most highly touted freshman of the pitchers coming in. That was Gunnar Hoagland, who will likely pitch for Ole Miss tomorrow, who turned down first-round money to come to college. Nikhazy a little bit more below the radar, and has just gotten better and better and better as the season's gone along.
Well, like Coach Bianco said, I mean, he's been this guy for us all year. And I think that when you're talking about prospect status, a lot of times the scouts want to see the guy that's 6'3", 6'4", and that's not Doug Nikhazy. But the stuff is there, the pitchability is there, the competitiveness. We saw the fire in the first inning. So to me, it comes down to, can you get guys out? And obviously he's a guy that can get guys out.
Nikhazy was the only freshman in the SEC to win that Freshman of the Week award twice. Freshman All-SEC. This ball pretty well hit left center gap. Sam Hall flies out, though, to Ryan Olenek. And there are 2 down in the 5th. Doug Nikhazy, 10 strikeouts against Texas A&M. And he's been able to stay deep enough into games where he's factored into the decision. 4 wins in his last 6 starts.
You mentioned, hey, like Gunnar Hoagland came in. He's the guy that was the prospect. Sometimes that can light a fire under, and you kind of have that internal competition between guys, and it really, pulls the best out of both of them. And that's what you're seeing between Doug Nikhazy.
Hawkins takes the breaking ball up a little bit. Count evens at 1-1.
A lot of times when Nikhazy walks off the mound, Will Etheridge is the first one to greet him, and that's your Friday night ace trying to lead by example.
Inside corner strike. You and I were walking around in between games and across Will Etheridge in the weight room, getting an off-day workout. Said he was trying to make sure he was ready to go if he was needed on Monday night.
Yeah, that's your best, that's your most important day, is that next day. Get that long run in, flush the body, all the lactic acid, get that big workout in. Yeah, he was getting some deadlifts in.
Two balls and 2 strikes to Justin Hawkins. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd. He was stranded over at third base. Hawkins has started the last 23 games for Clemson. And his communications degree on May 9th goes down swinging here in the bottom of the 5th. 7th strikeout for Nikhazy. Ole Miss leads 4-0. NCAA Regional Baseball is presented by Capital One. This is the Oxford Regional. Ole Miss hosting as the number 12 national seed. Had a win last night over Jacksonville State, Illinois, and Clemson. Illinois out of the Big Ten, the 2 seed. Clemson, the 3 seed. Illinois, the first to go home. They lost to Jacksonville State in an elimination game earlier today. Jacksonville State will play the loser of this game in an elimination game tomorrow. Ole Miss or Clemson, depending on who wins it tonight, will head to regional final. Little baseball uniform enjoying the ballpark. Another big crowd. Thomas Dillard leading off the inning for Ole Miss, batting for the 4th time in the game. 0 for 2 with a walk. Little kick stop.
Yeah, that's what it was. She kept backing from it, backing up from it. You got to stop it.
Dillard's worked himself into a hitter's count, 3-1. As a freshman, Thomas Dillard had 4 home runs. He hit 13 last year. Into double digits again this season, 11 home runs. Got his 11th of the year last night. Leadoff walk for Thomas Dillard.
Is that 5 walks already for Weatherly? 5 walks, 4 Ks. 5 walks is his career high. Once he finds the consistency that he shows, the dominant portions of it, he's going to be a really nice pitcher.
For more coverage of the Division I baseball regionals and interactive brackets, go to ncaa.com. Got the scoreboard on my computer in front of me. How about that line? Inning and 2/3, 5 walks, 4 strikeouts, but no hits allowed, no runs allowed. 47 pitches from Sam Weatherly, and a call to the bullpen. Monty Lee making the trip to the mound. He's raised his arm, made the signal, and Clemson this time going to bring a right-hander into the ball game. Ole Miss leading 4-0 over Clemson. Top of the 6th, 3rd pitcher of the game coming in for the Tigers. Travis Barr, the new pitcher of the game for Clemson, 3rd of the night, used by Monty Lee. Matt Clark, the starter. Sam Weatherly followed him up with an inning and 2/3. Now Travis Barr, the sophomore from Castle Rock, Colorado. 2-0 on the year. This is 18th appearance. 6.67 ERA. 25 strikeouts, 6 walks for Marr, and that batting average against him. Opponents hitting .325 against Marr on the year. Well, the scouting report on Sam Weatherly was, it could not have been more accurate. Good stuff, high spin rate, and he gets a bunch of strikeouts, but he walks too many people. Yeah, and ultimately 5 walks, 4 Ks. Doesn't give up anything. A couple of base runners, but
well, I mean, when you have those kind of walk numbers, it seems like, and only an ERA of 3.2, seems like it's a guy that maybe gets pulled, leaves guys on base, and other guys come and pick him up. You know, in the bullpen, you're only as good as your buddy that comes in behind you a lot of times when you have guys on base, because they give up hits or, you know, those runs score. It's all going to your ERA.
Ryan Olenek on base once, and his 3 at-bats rifles this one to right field. Thomas Dillard going to go first to third. Olenek makes a big turn and then hustles back to the bag. Just got under the tag from Grayson Bird. First hit of the game for Ryan Olenek.
What a heads-up play by Michael Green. Rifling that ball back to Grayson Bird. Olenek, he goes to the nice, aggressive, hard turn. Then, good hook slide.
That was close. And Grayson Bird, what, 6'5", long arms?
Both of those guys are long. And I think as he's going to hook side, it looked like he was going to hook with the right arm and realize, I got to go with the left arm. Stay as far away from Bird as I can.
Ole Miss leading 5-0, trying to extend here in the top of the 6th inning. Largest deficit that Clemson has overcome this season, 4 runs. Back on the 28th of April, they trailed Georgia Tech 7-3 early in that ball game. Ended up winning it 11-7. $9,800 and change last night for Game 1 between Ole Miss and Jacksonville State. Couple hundred more at the ballpark tonight. 10,037 paid attendance in this ball game.
So paid attendance, right? We've seen a couple of those. Seen about a couple thousand sneak in those back gates over there in the student section, right? It's crazy out there.
Kind of ease in out of the trees.
Yeah. No one's looking. No one's looking. Let's go.
3-0 to Gray Kessinger. Travis Marr in danger of loading the bases. Kessinger, 3-0 green light. Lines it foul down the right field line. That's something that Mike Bianco's not been afraid to do with his hitters. Turn them loose 3-0.
Well, especially you look at 4-0 game, so he's relaxed. The pitcher knows I don't want to load the bases. He's struggling, so you're thinking that's probably going to be your best pitch. You trust your 3-hole hitter that if it's not in the happy zone, you don't swing.
Fly ball to center field. Teodosio retreats just shy of the warning track. Plenty deep to bring home Thomas Dillard. A sacrifice fly for Gray Kessinger. Drives in his 47th of the year, and Ole Miss leads 5-0. Thomas Dillard walked. Ryan Olenek got the single. Dillard went first to third, and then Dillard comes home on the sac fly from Gray Kessinger. And Cole Zabowski comes to the plate. 1 for 3 with a solo home run in the second.
And that run right there will go to Sam Weatherly's line. Even though he didn't give up a hit, those 5 walks, the last one was able to get to him.
Two 2-0 to Zabowski. Tight game in Greenville, North Carolina. Quinnipiac and East Carolina playing. Quinnipiac up 5-3. Solo home run for ECU. Make that a 1-run game in the bottom of the 8th. We saw Gray Kessinger go after a 3-0 pitch. You would imagine that Cole Zabowski also has the green light. Takes a strike, 3-1.
Some hitters like to do it, some hitters don't. So like you think sometimes it can kind of pull you out of just your mindset and your approach at the plate. But to me as a pitcher, when a guy swings 3-0 and fouls it off, it's one of the scariest things because you go, oh, shoot, I got to do this 2 more times, and he looks like he's right on that fastball.
This ball hit sharply back to the mound, fielded for a double play. So a line drive at the ankles of Travis Marr and an easy flip to Bird for the double play.
Did you see they deked Olenek?
Welcome everyone to Omaha, Nebraska, home of the College World Series. That's one way to get it started. It is Cole! The 0-2. He got him. Gets one to hit, drives it to right. This one is gone! And the Beavers are on top of the college baseball world.
It will be here before you know it. Starts on Saturday, June 15th. 2 weeks from today, the College World Series. Could Ole Miss get there? They've been 5 times in the program's history, most recently in 2014. Last trip to the CWS for Clemson, 2010. They've been to 4 straight NCAA regionals under Monty Lee. 9 super regionals overall, 12 trips to the College World Series. It's a program that expects to get to Omaha. They've not done it as frequently recently as they would have liked.
Well, I can promise you if Ole Miss makes it to Omaha, I can guarantee you what uniforms they're going to be wearing.
Going out on a limb there?
Yeah, it's a big stretch, but let's say it's going to look at the light powder blue.
Clemson has actually played in 32 of the last 33 NCAA baseball tournaments. The only year they've missed in that span, 2008. 121 wins all time in NCAA postseason baseball. Popped up. McCasey, the pitcher, calls for it himself, makes the catch. Pitchers can catch pop-ups. ESPN Networks bring you every game on the road to Omaha. Starting this weekend with regional coverage. You've got it on ESPN2, ESPNU, SEC Network, and ESPN3. Whip-around coverage is also available through ESPN3 and the Bases Loaded channel. All coverage coming your way on the ESPN app. Did you get mad at your teammates when they thought you couldn't catch a pop-up?
Yeah, but we're athletes. Pitchers are athletes. I mean, you catch a ball back from the catcher every time. Well played, Doug Nikhazy.
Oregon State won the national championship a year ago. There will be a new national champion in 2019 as the Beavers eliminated in the Corvallis Regional. This ball lined right up the middle. Gray Kessinger had it played perfectly. Can't hit it any harder than Michael Green just hit that baseball.
You're right, boy. That ball was on the screws. Watching Nikhazy, he kind of has that lean at the very last second, trying to be able to get Gray Kessinger able to go. Watching Nikhazy's reaction, like, get there. I love it, man. He always looks back at Cooper Johnson. They look like they have such a great relationship. But one time he made a nice pitch. You see right there, Gray Kessinger, first team All-SEC, the Brooks Wallace Award finalist, as good a shortstop as they come. But the relationship between Nikhazy and Cooper Johnson, the catcher, I've seen them make some pitches, and as they're both kind of going to first base to back up a throw, they look at each other and he points to him like, that was a nice job. One of them was after a couple foul balls. It looked like he gave him like the double shake. Sometimes the catcher will make you shake just on purpose to kind of get into the hitter's head.
Fly ball to left. Thomas Dillard. 1, 2, 3, 6th inning. We are through 6. Ole Miss leading 5-0. All right, Zubin, thanks a lot. What an atmosphere they had at Morgantown last night. West Virginia hosting its first regional, got a big win, but Duke trying to quiet that crowd. They don't want to hear Country Roads after it's over tonight. How about the mood swing in Baton Rouge as well? Up 4-0 to a grand slam. Cooper Johnson leading off for Ole Miss, top of the 7th. Strike nips the corner.
That was a pretty slider right there, 82 miles an hour. Nice tilt down and away from the right-hander.
Think you'll see it a third time?
I think so. Why not? Go to the well. It keeps working, right? Use his aggressiveness. No, keep it a little bit lower.
Cooper Johnson 2 for 3 in the game. He's got 3 hits in the regional.
They decided to go with the 92-mile-an-hour fastball up, try to change that eye level. My favorite pitches off of that was, instead most guys were thinking, all right, back to the breaking ball down, you spot up a fastball inside, it just absolutely freezes them.
Foul tip held on to by Wilkie. There's a strikeout for Travis Marr. Sports Center tonight with the after the Women's College World Series with Bucci and Anderson. Barry Melrose joins the show to break down Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals from St. Louis. Plus, what adjustments will the Warriors and Raptors make before Game 2? And with Clayton Kershaw on the mound, teams with the best record in the National League square off. Sports Center after softball on ESPN and the ESPN app. So will Steve Levy let them use the Levy Lounge to talk to Barry Melrose if he's not there? I don't know the answer to that, but I bet Barry Melrose will have on a great sport coat.
Always. The hair will be nice.
Oh, it'll be, be the best. Tyler Keenan. Cue shot, slow roller, third base side with the shift on, forget about it. That's not the hardest hit ball that Tyler Keenan has had this season, but it is a one-out single.
One of those hits you get to first base, he's probably, he's laughing huge, knowing that he had the head down, running as hard as he can, going, I think I can get this hit. That's the toughest part about it as a pitcher, man. You make a nice pitch, you got the shift on. Any other time, normally that ball, that's an easy out. Almost too good of a pitch.
Runner on first, 1 down. Ole Miss leads 5-0 in this game, but they've stranded 8 base runners in the last 4 innings. Tim Elko, who had a dislocated finger diving back into first base early in the game, has stayed in. See there on the left hand, the batting glove, pinky finger, ring finger taped together.
Speaking of Barry Melrose, right? What do they call it? You guys hockey players? Hockey players go out there no matter what.
Mike Bianco said it was a little old school. We talked to Mike Bianco earlier. He said, dove in, dislocated. Doc popped it back into place, and he stayed in the game. Tim Elko with his second hit of the night, third time he has been on base. For the second consecutive night, all 9 batters in the starting lineup have reached base safely, and Tim Elko's night is done. Josh Hall comes in as a pinch runner, will likely stay in the game in the outfield. Tim Elko drawing his first start since mid-April and having maybe his best night at the plate of the entire season. And a dislocated finger to boot. Does that qualify as a souvenir?
Not the one I would want to receive, but he'll take it. Like I said, he's tough. Best part of the night, though, those 2 hits.
Strike nips the inside corner to Anthony Servideo. Ole Miss trying to add to its lead with first and second, 1 out, top of the 7th. Servideo, a sac bunt, a fly out, and a walk. Lefty and a righty throwing in the pen for Clemson. Keyshawn Askew, the lefty. Luke Sommerfeld, the right-hander. Sommerfeld actually pitched to the Oxford Regional a year ago. Davidson playing up the middle, 6-4-3 double play. Nice turn in the middle by Michael Green. After Davidson started the double play, Ole Miss strands a runner. 5-0, time to stretch at Swayze. NCAA Regional Baseball presented by Capital One. The Oxford Regional earlier today. Jacksonville State and Illinois meeting in an elimination game. Tight ball game in the 7th. Jacksonville State got a 2-run homer from Nick Gaddis down the left field line. Got a 2-run home run from Alex Strachan, the right center. Andrew Naismith with a base hit, drove in a couple of runs with his double in the 8th inning. And Jacksonville State, a 7-5 win, their first ever postseason victory. They were 0-9 in regional play prior to the win earlier today. They await the loser of this game. Doug Nikhazy back out. First pitch rifled into right field by Grayson Bird. Josh Hall runs it down. Throw comes back in, and throw gets away at second base. Ray Kessinger was trying to catch it quickly and tag Bird. First hit of the night for Grayson Bird. That had to feel good after a couple of swinging strikeouts. He crushed that ball.
Yeah, it looked like he was having a tough night picking up Nikhazy, but that's a nice hustle double out of the box. Smelled double. I thought Josh Hall did a great job of cutting that ball off, but you got to give Bird credit for hustling to get that double. Watch this out of the box. It's full speed. Makes a great turn, but I thought he was just going to be aggressive. Turley Hall does a great job, cuts it off, throws a strike to the cutoff guy, Servideo.
Second hit of the game for Clemson. Clemson trying to reverse a trend. They have won 4 consecutive game 1s in regional play, but they have lost game 2 in the last 5 regionals that they've played in. First pitch popped back by Kyle Wilkie into the net behind home plate. Wilkie 0 for 2 in this game with a ground out and a strikeout. He had a big night last night, a career high 4 hits, went 4 for 5 with 3 runs batted in. Got a season RBI total up to 40 on the year. They're at the bottom of the 9th inning in Greenville, North Carolina. Quinnipiac leading 5-4 over East Carolina. Pirates down to their final out. This ball lined back up the middle, a base hit into center field. They'll slam on the brakes with Grayson Bird at third base. Don't want to risk making the first out at home plate when you trail 5-0.
Especially with a guy like Hawkins that has the pop that he has, already has 7 home runs. We've talked about him earlier, so I mean now you got something brewing. But you're right, Dave. When all of a sudden it's been so hard to get guys on base, now you got guys on base don't want to give up a free out, with a base running error.
Cooper Johnson will visit with Doug Nikhazy. Ole Miss has a right-hander, Austin Miller, up and throwing in the bullpen. Prior to this 7th inning, Doug Nikhazy had retired 10 in a row. He's gone 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 of them back-to-back here to start the 7th. 1 walk, 7 strikeouts for Nikhazy.
When he opened the first inning, I thought this was going to be one of those 10-12 type punch out nights, and he just kind of settled in, just started to just get that ground ball, weak fly ball outs.
Big swing and a miss by Briar Hawkins. That was a get my team to within 2 runs swing by Hawkins. Oh, and 2. Back-to-back breaking balls.
Every team's going to make a run. And sometimes, the good teams, the good offenses, the relentless ones will make a lot more than 1 run, at a pitcher. But right now, Nikhazy's been so good. This is Clemson's shot. This is when you got to get the clutch hits at the time to be able to put the runs across the board, because if you don't start chipping away now, it makes that lead really hard later in the game.
1 hopper to short. Ole Miss will trade a double play for a run. 6-4-3. Clemson is on the board as Grayson Bird comes home to score. It's now 5-1, but Ole Miss gets 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th.
just after that pitch right there. I saw Nikhazy and Johnson both look in the dugout. Like, great call from Coach Bianco. Made the nice pitch. Awesome turn. That's the strong arm by Servideo. Fires a rifle across.
Jordan Green now to the plate, 0 for 2. Almost all of the offensive production in the regional for Clemson has come from the first 4 hitters in the lineup. 13 of their 15 hits in the regional have come through the first 4 hitters in the lineup. Michael Green, Logan Davidson, Grayson Bird, and Kyle Wilkie. This one's pop, foul, first base side. Zabowski's got a play on it. Ole Miss gives up a run, but it could have been worse. 5-1 through 7 in the Oxford Regional. Ole Miss leading over Clemson. Jordan Ta'amu, former Ole Miss quarterback, taking in a little baseball on a Saturday night. He's gone through a couple of post-draft workouts with teams in the NFL. Good atmosphere for the second night in a row. 10,037 the attendance tonight. Ole Miss will go with a pinch hitter to start the inning. Kevin Graham batting in place of Knox LaPosser. Graham a left-handed bat against the right-hander Travis Marr. Marr got a double play to get out of the 7th inning after giving up back-to-back singles with 1 out. Graham swings and misses.
That was a filthy changeup right there. You don't see many bullpen guys come in with 3+ pitches, but Marr shown a nice 92, 93 mile an hour fastball, 82 to 85 mile an hour slider, and then a changeup just fell off the table.
Quinnipiac has knocked off the number 10 national seed East Carolina 5-4. High fly ball to right by Kevin Graham. Does it have enough? It is gone. Tenth of the year for Kevin Graham, and Ole Miss gets the run back. The Clemson put on the board in the bottom of the 7th inning. Now 6-1.
Boy, they get the crowd fired back up. Graham, deep center field. That's a big part of the park right there. Watch Teodosio. Thinks he's got it, tracks all the way. Oh, fence. And then the showers come.
3rd home run of the game for Ole Miss, the 6th of the regional, and they have come from 6 different Rebel hitters. Thomas Dillard bats from the left side for the first time. That's Kevin Graham's 2nd pinch hit home run of the season. Shift is on for Clemson. Hawkins all by himself on the left side of the infield. Southern Miss got the grand slam against LSU to make it a 4-4 game. Now in the top of the 8th, LSU has the bases loaded with nobody out. Tigers trying to retake the lead at Alex Fox Stadium down in Baton Rouge. The win for Quinnipiac over East Carolina was their first ever NCAA regional win. And that is 3 times today that has happened. Central Connecticut State got their first. Here in Oxford, Jacksonville State got their first, and now Quinnipiac gets one in Greenville, North Carolina.
It's a tough place to go and play, too.
Thomas Dillard called out on strikes, goes away looking for the first out here in the top of the 8th.
For the answer back. Travis Marr come back after giving up the home runs. What you'd like to see?
Ryan Olynyk's been on base twice. He's got a walk and a single. 1 for 3 in the game. Takes ball 1. Second hit of the game for Olynyk. A 1-out single up the middle. He's now got 3 hits in the regional. Olynyk, the senior from Winter Park, Florida, has battled injuries throughout his career, but not one that it's easy to get out of the ball game. Wilkie goes out to talk to Travis Marr. Matt Clark, the starter, went 3 1/3, gave up 4 earned runs. Sam Weatherly in relief worked an inning and 2/3. Kind of an up and down outing. 5 walks, 4 strikeouts. He was charged with 1 earned run, and now Marr, after giving up the solo home run to Kevin Graham, has allowed 5 hits but has only allowed 1 run since coming into the game. Great Kessinger. We were talking about Kessinger defensively earlier. As a shortstop, who's a finalist for the Brooks Wallace Award. Pretty significant baseball lineage in his family. His grandfather, Don Kessinger, 6-time All-Star with the Chicago Cubs as a shortstop. And Kessinger pulls this one down the left field line, but foul. His uncle Keith, who is the radio color analyst on the Ole Miss radio network, played shortstop at Ole Miss. There's granddad, Don Kessinger.
Yeah, he's sitting right under us, and so I watch the whole at bat, and every time a pitch will happen, he'll lean over. I don't know if that's his wife next to him or not, but he'll look like almost like he's trying to be in that at bat as well, saying, "Hey, he needs to do this, he needs to do this." Still in every single pitch of the game.
Grandma Carolyn Kessinger sitting next to DK. And then Gray's dad, Kevin Kessinger, played baseball here at Ole Miss. Keith, his uncle, got to the big leagues with the Cincinnati Reds. And then Gray's dad, Kevin, played in the outfield at Ole Miss. Pretty good player. Had some back injuries that kept him from getting a chance at the big leagues. How long were you in the minors before you made it up first time?
Played like a month and a half after getting drafted in 2002. Then would have been 03, would have had a full year, and then by June of 04. So second full year, 2 months in, 2.5 months in was called up.
It's a pretty quick path.
Pretty quick. It went right back down. It was one of those spot starts, and then 3 weeks later was up for the most part for good.
Fly ball to right. Green camped under it, makes the catch.
We talked about a lot of that. It just depends on what organization you're in. Some organizations will move guys rather quickly. Some organizations will just keep a guy there like, hey, you're going to be here the whole year. Don't even worry about it. Get you that 6-month lease. That's not what Arizona was when I got drafted. And then a lot of times, I really felt like 4 years pitching in the SEC really, shaped my career that way. It made me a better pitcher. And so, when you get to high A ball, you're able to move through it. and not worry. You know, you're a little bit more advanced than you would be if you would come out of high school.
Pitching change. We will take a timeout. 6-1. Ole Miss leading it over Clemson. You're watching the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. New pitcher into the game for Clemson Tigers, left-hander Keyshawn Askew. Askew, the freshman from Powder Springs, Georgia. Lefty's 2-1 on the year with a 4.53 ERA. 16th appearance of the season. He's made 9 starts. And you'll have a lefty-on-lefty matchup here with Cole Zabowski coming to the plate.
Yeah, you're bringing in Askew. You got Zabowski, then you got a righty Johnson, but then another lefty Keenan.
We have got drama all over the country. We mentioned a little while ago Quinnipiac getting the win against East Carolina. The Auburn Tigers playing with heavy hearts this weekend, getting a walk-off 3-run bomb to beat Georgia Tech in Atlanta 6-5, trailing 5-3 in the bottom of the 9th. Auburn was the home team. I think it was Stephen Williams who hit the walk-off home run. That pitch hits Cole Zabowski. He'll head down to first base. Mentioned playing with a heavy heart. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of Rod and Paula Bramlett a week ago tonight. After returning to Auburn from the SEC tournament, Rod and his wife Paula were involved in a car accident that claimed both of their lives. Had a chance in Hoover last week at the SEC tournament to visit with Rod and his radio partner Andy Burcham in the radio booth at the SEC tournament. One of the really good guys. Left behind 2 children, a daughter in college and a son still in high school at Auburn. Rod's one of those guys that had a lot of friends in a lot of places because he had been a broadcaster with Auburn for a really long time. Started broadcasting football and men's basketball in 2003, but was celebrating, along with his partner Andy Burcham, 25 years broadcasting Auburn baseball. Really sad situation, and all those in the Auburn family, we are thinking about you with the loss of Rod Bramlett, the former voice of the Auburn Tigers. Say Rod's got a pretty good seat to watch that walk-off that Auburn had in Atlanta.
Auburn gets to avenge. They had played Georgia Tech twice this year. They had lost both of those games, so you know that was a tough thing going into the 9th inning down, knowing you'd already lost 2 games to them. Stephen Williams had been struggling all year. Picked it up in the postseason so far, though.
2 on, 2 out for Cooper Johnson. You'll get a chance to see that highlight coming up in just a little bit. Cooper Johnson hits a rocket to Davidson at short, but Davidson able to catch the liner off the shoestrings. 5-run lead for Ole Miss as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Zubin, that's what you dream of in the backyard when you're a kid. Hit that walk-off bomb in the bottom of the 9th and then get to do it in an NCAA regional game. Auburn advancing to the regional final in Atlanta. Georgia Tech will try to play their way through the loser's bracket now.
How about they said 0-2? You thinking you're down to your last strike? 3-run jack to win it? Well, you know those Tech fans were like, oh, what just happened? You know, you got the that's when you, because you know at your home park, 0-2, 2 outs in the last inning, you know the crowd there got the clap going, and all of a sudden,
but wait, we're not the home team.
Oh, but no, still the crowd would be up and rolling, and wham! Oh my goodness!
Breaking ball from Nikhazy stays up. That's his 90th pitch of the game. Sam Hall walked in the third inning, flew out to center in the fifth inning. Batting for the third time tonight, 0 for 1. Fastball runs inside. Velocity's still there. That was a 90-mile-an-hour fastball from Doug Nikhazy. Doug Nikhazy threw 8 innings against Texas A&M in the SEC tournament. That was his longest outing of the season. And a 7 2/3 performance against Missouri in his first SEC start. Hall hits a fly ball to center field. Olenek makes the catch, 1 away. Number 1 overall seed UCLA playing Loyola Marymount. That game is coming up for you when we finish here on ESPNU. It will start at 10:06 Eastern Time on ESPN News, and then we'll move over to ESPNU when we finish here in Oxford. Baylor 24-6 over Omaha in an elimination game earlier today. Wow. And a monster game for Shane Langoliers.
Yeah, 3 home runs. He had a double, 11 RBIs, was 5 for 5 going into his last plate appearance. I think he struck out looking in the 9th. Had a chance to tie the postseason record, 4 home runs in a game. I think he'll take it, though. 5 for 6, 11 stakes.
You're gonna downgrade him for that?
No, that's what I'm saying. I think you're good. Sleep well at night.
Casey's been able to work ahead throughout the ballgame. First pitch strike to 19 of the 25 hitters that he's faced. Check swing with Justin Hawkins, able to hold up. Count evens at 1-1.
Kind of the numbers ingrained in your head as a pitcher from the coaches is, you want to be 65% strikes. If you're more than that, 65% strikes, it will give your team a chance to win. 70%, everything above that, you're probably going to be in cruise control. And that, you just mentioned 19 of 25. That's 76% first pitch strikes. I mean, look at that. Only 27 balls, 96 pitches. He's gone that 7 times.
So his strike total for the game, 72%.
That's what I'm saying. When you're above that 70 mark, it's pretty much dominant fashion. You can expect to have good numbers on your side.
Two balls and 2 strikes. That pitch misses down. Maybe a surprise, maybe the biggest surprise of the day. We've certainly seen drama all over the country, but Florida State leading Georgia 12-3 in Athens in the 9th inning. Mike Martin in his final season as the head coach of the Seminoles, winningest coach in college baseball history. Watching the end of that game on the ESPN app, bases loaded coverage.
You are the ultimate multitasker.
He is stoic as always. Hawkins gets time. Thought Nikhazy was taking a little too long. Full count now to Hawkins. Pitch number 100 coming up next for Doug Nikhazy. Both Austin Miller and Ole Miss's closer Parker Caracci are up and throwing in the bullpen for the Rebels. 1 out, bottom of the 8th. Florida State has beaten Georgia 12-3. There's a full count walk to Justin Hawkins. Miller, the right-hander with the beard. Well,
I was going to say, which one?
Hold on a second. Miller on the right side of your screen. Parker Caracci closest to the fence. Miller's got the bushier beard.
Yeah, Caracci with the more clean-cut, lined-up look.
Pinch hitter coming here for Clemson. Elijah Henderson will bat in place of Bryce Teodosio. Theodosio 0 for 2 in the ball game. He's got some pop in his bats. Got 9 home runs. Henderson 1 home run, hitting 161 on the year. Don't know why Monty Lee makes this change. He just trying to do something to spark his guys offensively. Anderson, the freshman from Greer, South Carolina, played his high school baseball at Blue Ridge High School. Hawkins at first, Elijah Henderson at the plate, the 1-1. That nips the inside corner for strike 2. Ole Miss fans feeling it here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Well, you can tell Doug Nikhazy wanted that punch out. Reach back, fastball, the fist bump at the end of it. Love the emotion.
8th strikeout of the game for Doug Nikhazy.
He's not afraid to show that emotion. Usually that's one of those ones at the end of the inning. He's going out there second out of the inning. He's throwing the fist bump out.
Back to the top of the order. This is the part of the lineup for Clemson where they've had production over the first 2 games. Michael Green out in front, fouled it wide of the bag at first. Only 3 hits total in the game tonight for Clemson. One of them belongs to Michael Green, a single in the 3rd inning.
He also had that line out in the 6th. I mean, he's a guy that has put some good swings on Nikhazy tonight. Not many of the other guys in the Clemson lineup have.
Breaking ball, top of the strike zone. You go way back to the 4th inning when we talked to Monty Lee. He talked about that pitch, the fact that he's gotten the breaking ball at the top of the zone and he's been able to work in the top of the zone with his fastball as well.
I think you could see Michael Green's reaction. He's like, just that pitch is just killing these guys.
10,037 on their feet. Ground ball left side. Kessinger kept it on the infield, but I don't think even if he had fielded it or pulled it out of the glove clean that he was going to throw out Michael Green. Infield single for Green, his 2nd hit of the night.
You got your leadoff hitter from the left side. That ball's fading away from Kessinger. Yeah, he runs way too well. Would have liked to see him try, though, just seeing that kind of skill set.
5-run lead for Ole Miss, up 6-1, bottom of the 8th inning. Logan Davidson, 15 home runs, 55 runs batted in. He is 0 for 3 in the ball game. Logan Davidson has reached base safely in 56 consecutive games for Clemson. That streak in jeopardy here in the bottom of the 8th. Strikeout and 2 flyouts tonight for Davidson, 0 for 3. Feel like this is the last batter for Doug Nikhazy, one way or the other?
Well, I would think so, but you got two righties warming up in the pen. But if another guy does reach, it does become a safe situation. So they, would they go to the closer? But still, with another left-on-left matchup.
This ball hammered foul down the third baseline.
You talked about how Coach Bianco loves to do the left-on-left matchup, and so that's the only reason I would think Nikhazy might stay in. But the pitch count now is rising up 110. He's gone to 114 before against Mississippi State, 116 against Missouri in that one game. But other than that, though, this is going to be his longest outing outside of those two.
Doug Nikhazy a strike away from getting out of the eighth. First and second for Clemson. Tigers desperately trying to cut into the Ole Miss lead. Swing and a miss, picked up, tagged out. Ninth strikeout of the game from Nikhazy. Davidson is now 0 for 4, and Ole Miss will take a 5-run lead into the ninth.
The NCAA Baseball Regionals is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Twix. It's time to decide.
Oxford Regional, loser of this game will meet Jacksonville State tomorrow, 3 Eastern, 2 o'clock local time. The two teams, either Ole Miss or Clemson and Jacksonville State, will have a coin flip to decide who is home and who is away in that ball game tomorrow. Tyler Keenan leading the inning off against Keyshawn Askew. First pitch to Keenan, runs inside. New center fielder in the game for Clemson is Bo Mikowski. Teodosio was pinch hit for by Elijah Henderson. Mikowski comes in defensively. Vanderbilt dodges a monster bullet in the bottom of the ninth inning. They led 8-1 going into the ninth. Indiana State scored 4 and had the tying run at the plate with just 1 out. Vanderbilt's got a ground ball double play to end it and beat Indiana State 8-5. So Vandy advances to the regional final. Mississippi State an out away from beating Central Michigan. Bulldogs up 7-2 in the ninth.
It shows you how, that 1-0 game, winning that, going 2-0, putting yourself in that regional final championship game, having to be beat twice. Those teams that go 2-0, 81% of the time are going to advance. I like those numbers.
Tyler Keenan rolls it right side, fielded by Green, over to Bird, 1 down.
Miss is looking to do the same. They've opened up regional play 2-0 7 times and have won it 6 of the 7.
That popped up by Josh Hall. Say he didn't get that one on the ground would be an understatement. Showed bunt again. Told you last night, if you were with us, Kevin Graham, 224 stolen bases in high school at Homewood High School, suburban Birmingham. He's trying to drop one down third base side and show off that speed. That is the national high school record.
Usually you see guys like once they square once and it fouls off, right, let's start hitting. He's done it 2 more times since then. He's like daring these guys.
Well, they're playing him with a shift. So he's only got the one infielder left side. I said Kevin Graham. I think I meant Josh Hall. Kevin Graham does not hold the national high school stolen base record. Could be a really good player.
He's going to appreciate
10
that.
home runs as a freshman. Not going to steal 224 between now and the time that he no longer plays baseball. Hall came into the game as a pinch runner for Tim Elko, who had a nice night. A couple of hits and a walk for Elko.
All right. My man Keyshawn Askew's got a little Dontrell Willis. You see that? Remember Dontrell Willis with the Marlins?
The D-Train?
Yeah. Crazy, funky delivery. The hat was always crooked, almost falling off. He's almost lost his hat 3 or 4 times in this at bat.
And on the hands, Grayson Bird fields it, steps on the bag himself for the second out of the inning. Askew's got the big leg kick. I'm not sure that it's quite as pronounced as...
There's not many that have gotten that high like D-Train did.
Play with him?
No, but was with the Braves when he was with the Marlins, and so definitely played against him and got to see a lot in spring training, a lot during the season. You played in the East, 18, 19 times.
You're looking for UCLA and Loyola Marymount. That game has begun on ESPN News. We'll send you out to Los Angeles as soon as we finish here in Oxford. Top of the 9th inning, Ole Miss with a 5-run lead over Clemson, 2 down, and Anthony Servideo at the plate. Servideo was 2 for 3 last night with 2 driven in. He's reached base once tonight on a walk. I'm now intrigued with Askew's hat. You mentioned it, and I can't help but watch it. Do we need to get him a bigger lid?
It's really weird. I guess it's just a little high on the head. The spring training hats for back in like the early 2000 or late 2000s, 2009, and then early 10 and 11. Just the way the hats were fitted, they weren't like the fitted baseball hat that you'd wear in the for the big league, like the New Era hat. It was just one of those one size fits all, or like you'd have a small, medium. To me, when I had to have one that was so tight because it would fly off like that, but never seen a fitted hat almost leave the head every single time.
Full count. Servideo on the ground past Davidson. They were playing him to pull. It was not as dramatic a shift as you've seen with some of the left-handed hitters, but Servideo shot it through the left side, a 2-out base hit for Anthony Servideo.
What we've seen throughout this regional, I've seen a lot more balls beat the shift than guys played right into the shift. I think we saw that double play an inning or 2 ago where Kessinger was up the middle and that ball was hit pretty hard, so he was right there. But for the most part, in the 4 games we've had, it's been the opposite. The shift has kind of been the thing that hasn't worked.
Arkansas able to get the win against TCU, so Arkansas in good shape in the Fayetteville Regional. Razorbacks beat the Horned Frogs 3-1 to advance to the regional final tomorrow night. Isaiah Campbell's been so good this season for Arkansas. LSU just got the final out in the bottom of the ninth inning. Tigers win 8-4 over Southern Miss. Swing and a miss. Kevin Graham goes down swinging on the off-speed pitch. Clemson needs a big bottom of the ninth. Doug Nikhazy has matched a career high with 8 innings pitched. He's got 9 strikeouts in the ball game. You talked about the emotion, Lance, early in the game. He's been able to kind of throttle that emotion and get deep into the game.
You're right, man. He has shown it all game, been fiery, started off the game so strong, and right there, that's where it ended. He wants to finish it, man. Come out here, gets that 8 punch out of Davidson.
Coming off the 8th, you thought he might be done. It's time for the player of the game, brought to you by Capital One. Doug Nikhazy. He's retired 23 of 29, 8 innings, 4 hits, 9 strikeouts, and 2 walks. And you got a lefty-lefty matchup. Nikhazy against Grayson Bird.
But what you saw, I mean, the Ole Miss fan base, I mean, that's a fan base that knows the game of baseball. The moment they saw Nikhazy leave the dugout, every single person got off their seats and was giving him a standing ovation before the inning even started.
Just off the plate there for ball 1.
And they're feeling his emotion. They're living and dying on every pitch just like he is.
Season high 116 pitches in 7 2/3 at Missouri. That was back on March 23rd. Two and 1 to Grayson Bird. Bird 1 for 3 in the game tonight. He has got 4 hits in the regional. Drove in 3 last night, added a double to the total tonight. Yanked one down the right field line. And his last at bat in the 7th inning. Bird ahead in the count, 2 and 1.
Well, I like the move by Coach Bianco to send him out there, especially because you do have that left-on-left matchup, and you had Caracci and Miller warming up, so those 2 righties, but it's something where Nikhazy almost looks like he's amping himself up to try to finish this off. You know, this could be his last hitter just because of lefty. He goes out there and gets the standing ovation anyway.
And he walks Grayson Bird to start the 9th inning. 3rd walk of the game by Doug Nikhazy. Kyle Wilkie headed to the plate, 1 for 3. Parker Caracci throwing pretty seriously in the Ole Miss bullpen, and here comes Mike Bianco. And of the 10,037 that remain, all of them are on their feet, and the entire Ole Miss infield goes to the mound to congratulate Doug Nikhazy on his performance tonight.
Well-deserved hugs from the whole infielder, especially the catcher. Cooper Johnson looked to be in sync with him the whole night.
Doug Nikhazy matches a career high with 8 innings. Allowed 4 hits, walked 3, struck out 9, 1 off the career high. He'll hand it off to Parker Caracci, get a hug, and get his teammates waiting for him. The freshman from Windermere, Florida, hoping this is not his last start of 2019.
How about that, though? Back-to-back 8-inning starts. You pull for the guy to go out there and get that one out, knowing he probably has that one hitter. Get that lefty out, then get that 8 in the 3rd, get the career high, but just matches the career high. So still going to be able to lay the head down tonight, knowing what a good outing.
Parker Caracci into the game. It's not a save opportunity, but there is still work to be done. Parker Caracci, 6 feet, 205 pounds, junior out of Jackson, Mississippi. Caracci's numbers this year a little different than they did a year ago. The ERA is up. He's 3-3 with a 5.16 ERA. 23rd appearance of the season. He's got 11 saves, 36 strikeouts, 17 walks. And to call the last month for Parker Caracci a roller coaster might not be a strong enough characterization. In the SEC tournament, he pitched in 3 consecutive days against Texas A&M, Arkansas, and Georgia, and got 3 saves. That was on the heels of 4 disastrous outings. At LSU, he gave up back-to-back-to-back home runs. Gave up 7 hits and 6 runs in an inning and 2/3 against Mississippi State. In 1 inning of work, gave up 2 hits, 2 earned runs, and then against Arkansas State, non-conference game in a midweek, pitched a third of an inning, gave up 2 hits and 4 runs. Parker Caracci seems to have found something in Hoover at the SEC tournament with 3 straight saves, 9, 10, and 11 of the season.
Well, you did mention the ERA high, and in the bullpen, this will be his 23rd appearance. Only has given up runs in 6 of those 22, so the other times he's been pretty good.
3 straight scoreless outings in relief for Parker Caracci, dealing with Kyle Wilkie. First pitch breaking ball off the plate.
This is not a save situation, though, even though bringing the closer, you want to finish the game off. But he wouldn't get credit if he does get the 3 outs.
Wilkie 1 for 3. It's a fastball strike. His pitch lined to short. Kessinger squeezes it for the first down of the inning. Well, we've seen a couple of line drives to Kessinger at short that are hit as well as you can hit it.
Talk about baseball being a game of inches. I mean, that's sometimes as a player, as a coach, you just got like, man, it's not our night when you know that you're hitting balls like that and it's just right at guys.
Michael Green back in the 6th inning from the left side, ball kind of tailing a little bit. And here Kyle Wilkie. Now Briar Hawkins, 5-hole hitter. It's ball 1 high. Briar Hawkins 0 for 3. Ground out, fly out, and a ground out into a double play in the 7th. Ole Miss 2 outs away from a berth in the regional final. The score holds. Clemson will meet Jacksonville State in an elimination game tomorrow at 2 o'clock Central Time. The winner of that game will have to turn around and try to beat Ole Miss. Again, assuming that this final holds. Nightcap tomorrow is at 8 o'clock Central Time.
Richard, you mentioned LSU closing out Southern Miss. If Ole Miss were to do that, that'd give the SEC 6 teams sitting at 2-0. Having to be beat twice.
Goodness. This ball lifted to right. Josh Hall reaches up, makes the catch, 2 down. Ball was hit hard by Briar Hawkins. Jordan Green 0 for 3, last chance for Clemson. Down 5 with a runner on first in the bottom of the 9th inning. Pick one on the corner. Dropped in the breaking ball. This ball lined foul. Clemson has 4 hits in the game. That matches a season low. Ole Miss
Casey's going crazy in the dugout. Sorry to cut you off right there.
He's still got the adrenaline going, doesn't he?
Still rolling. He's over there shaking the head. The hair's flying.
Ole Miss trying to advance to its 8th regional final all time.
How bad does the Ole Miss faithful want to punch out to end this game? I know they'll take anything, but they'd want that punch out. I bet 1-2 Parker Tracy going to go to that slider. That's his favorite pitch and get the punch out.
Green keeps it alive for another pitch. We finish here in Oxford. We'll get to you out to Los Angeles for UCLA and Loyola Marymount. One ball, 2 strikes. Jordan Green, Parker Caracci. This is away, 2-2.
Looks like he just doesn't feel comfortable with the fastball, spotting it up. Look, we're trying to go off the plate, trying to get Jordan Green a chase. But to me, you got to go to the pitch you love the most, and I know that's the slider for Parker Caracci. Green was able to spoil one, but if he puts one down, you got to think being aggressive, he's going to swing right over the top of it.
Jordan Green battling. Earlier today, Jacksonville State eliminated Illinois. 7-5 win for the Gamecocks. They will play the loser of this game tomorrow. The win for Jacksonville State was their first ever in NCAA postseason history, making their 5th all-time appearance. Ole Miss trying to close it out against Clemson. The 2-2. Ground ball back to the mound. Caracci flags it, flips to first, and Ole Miss is headed to a regional final tomorrow night at 8 o'clock here in Oxford. Updated bracket. Tomorrow in the first game, you've got Clemson and Jacksonville State. The winner will meet Ole Miss in the regional final at 9 o'clock Eastern. 6-1, the Rebels win it over the Clemson Tigers. More baseball regional action coming up as UCLA is taking on Loyola Marymount. For Lance Cormier and our entire crew, I'm Richard Cross. Thanks for joining us in Oxford. Let's send you to Los Angeles.